quickly, before we get into the adventure proper, of course, I want to thank Paizo for once again sponsoring our show here on their channel and producing this adventure, this entire game, and having us here on their Twitch network. As well as other partners, we got Norse Foundry, discount code that goes down the bottom of the screen for some real nice fancy metal, glass, gemstone, bone, dice. We have Arkin Forge, the map making / virtual tabletop software we're going to be going to frighteningly quickly here today. We have our friends over at Sirenscape, who, thanks to the work of our technical assistant Arcadis, we have a really cool custom sound set that he has put together for this. It is new and does not have an official one yet, but you made a really good one and I like it. And our newest friends at Eldritch Foundry for the physical miniatures that hopefully will not again die immediately in today's adventure.
Yeah.
The realm of the Mammoth Lords. It's a region far up to the northwest of Avestan, where few stories have been told throughout the life of the Pathfinder game, be it first edition or second. There is not much detailed about this place, as if you would ask many closer to the inner sea itself, there is not much to tell. It is a harsh wasteland, a tundra of snow and ice, roaming creatures of the country's namesake, and nomadic peoples just trying to survive. There's a lot more to it than that. Here, we have a following called the Broken Tusks, a relatively new group of nomads that have been around for 5, maybe 6 generations of their own time. And among this family, we have a child. Very excitable.
Hi!
4-year-old child named Aram.
I'm so excited to be here.
Who one day was traveling through the fringes of the woods not far from their temporary encampment with another member of her house, Bartham.
Bartham, wait up!
Boy of similar age, striding well out ahead of her, knobbly stick in hand that he has very kind of haphazardly, less whittled and more just kind of scraped to kind of a point. No, come on, hurry up! I don't want to wait.
I don't understand why you're making so much noise.
It makes them move. They hide. You can't see them if they don't hear you.
We want to see him first, dummy.
Well, then what do you see? Look, show me something. Anything.
There looks like a little animal right over there in the brush, actually.
He turns and looks. And in a bit of this scattered shrub, there is a small, well, relatively small, probably about a little under 2 feet long, tuft of white fur against the snow. Along the ridge of its back, 2 kind of wide brown streaky patches going down much of its body. Its head is very clearly turned your direction. Black eyes open and small little antlers cresting its brow.
Arm freezes.
Where?
Shut up. Look.
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh, that looks awesome. What is it?
It's your mom.
I'm gonna go tell Urgula. And he turns
Don't tell on me.
and just takes off, sprinting back towards your camp.
Arm sprints after him.
It's not a far distance. You haven't wandered very far away. As you make it back to the outside of this small little encampment, there's a group of 4 large communal tents of treated hides that have been stricken up around this central bonfire circle. Your friend Barthen here, friend perhaps a strong word, streaking into camp out ahead of you, running directly towards another girl, maybe about 14, 15 years of age, with hair so pale purple it looks almost gray, pulled into rolled braids with red thread just down framing the sides of her face. And as he's sprinting up, literally just waving his little arms, Urga! Urga! And he trips and falls on his face in the snow and picks back up completely undaunted and just keeps running and shouting.
Wait up! Barthen, you don't even know what it is!
The girl turns around, just clearly amused. Her angular face and pointed ears perked. What is Barthen, Arum?
We found a monster.
Oh. And she kind of looks over.
Little child.
Looks over to another girl that was sitting with her that is whittling some arrow shafts. Incredible resemblance between the two of them. Not exactly identical twins, but just barely not. And they share a bit of a clear grin. And Urgula turns back around and gets down on her knees, puts her hands on her knees. What kind of monster did you find, Arum? Barthen, it's a little demon. It has little demon horns. I can see them in the bush. It's like a little furry demon. I found it.
Well, yeah, we'll go with that.
And still a smirk on her face. Oh, okay. How big was it?
About 2-ish feet. It had ears and antlers and white fur and this stripe around the back, and we were really quiet, and it had little black beady eyes, and I think it saw this one because he was making a lot of noise.
As you're talking, Urgula looks back to her sister, who cocks an eyebrow and shrugs. Whippertinger? Urgula nods. Probably. Here, Arum, go get the other kids from the Otter House.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you found this, you can organize the hunt.
Really?
Barthen.
Oh, Dash!
Barthen's like, I found him! I'm gonna go! And he just runs off somewhere.
Verja! I found a monster!
And the group of you, 3 of you at least, scattered throughout the camp, would probably hear Arum shrill voice screaming from near the bonfire.
Well, as this is going on, you see a very small but very burly-looking half-orc child lifting a small boulder. What is this noise you speak of? Ugh. Blah. I guess I'll see what's going on.
You're a 5-year-old kid just lifting in the corner? That's fitting.
As he grows, the boulder grows. And that's how he gets stronger.
It's how he's going to come into adulthood, by just lifting larger and larger boulders as he goes.
There's the adult rock. When you can lift that, you're legally on a full
that's the rite of passage, right? You have to get the full-size boulder.
I'm all about my heritage, just saying.
But he is a little, maybe he sees himself as a bit bigger than this is. This like green-skinned half-orc child, tight black hair and braids on his head comes out towards Arum. Meanwhile, back at the tent of the Otter, one of the 4 houses of the following, Barthen bursts in to find, I imagine, at least one of you probably in there.
Probably both.
But I'm in there, yeah.
And he looks. Urgula says I had to bring you go on a hunt.
Do I have to go?
Just come on. We found a demon. It's like a demon rat. It's white and it's got big horns.
Verja, he's not lying. We did find whatever it was he said, and we get to hunt it.
I already got them. Go find Ozash.
But I'm looking for Verja.
So I get to hit it with the stick?
Duh!
You get to it first.
Verja.
He turns around and runs back off towards Urgula.
Following.
No, wait, don't. I'm gonna follow.
As the group of you make your way back out towards your teenage guides, Mason 1971, Arum, you gotta survive from the chat with our first of the hero point cards coming out here.
Make way!
Is that actually what it's called?
Coming through.
And then my chat has been very broken, but I got it working now. Apparently, I also
Got 2.
have 2 from Link 1429 and Blade Tiger.
This is
I
what
would
I
we're
did not
expect
see your
this
messages,
Link,
but I got chat
Blade
working
Tiger.
now, so that's good. I have
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
fluid motion
Oh, jeez.
and channel life force.
So you have reroll.
No, like
Ooh.
we're gonna be fighting a mammoth or something. It'll cast heal on itself. We've almost got it down. And full restore.
Whoosh.
No.
But as the group of you come and gather around Urgula, she stands up and turns back to her sister. I'm going to go see about the Wolpertinger Panwaku. And she just shrugs. Oh, yeah, of course. Any reason to not carve arrow shafts? And Urgula turns back and just sort of shrugs. Oh, sorry, I have to shepherd the kids, make sure they're safe.
A wolf, a water?
Come on, children.
A wolf, a water?
A hit a sticker.
A what?
No, stick hit.
And she's got the 4 of you kind of following along behind her.
Leashes.
What?
Does she have the leashes?
Kid leashes with a group of you. She doesn't. And she also doesn't really stop to grab any real weapons or anything. Now, it sounds like what you found out there is a Wolpertinger.
What's that?
It is no demon, but it is, like a red bird. They are rare creatures, and they are said to contain the essence of the god's luck in their feet, blessed by Sister Cinder herself.
Oh, well then we shouldn't kill it.
How are we gonna get the feet if we don't kill it?
They are very fickle and tricksy creatures. It could be a good test to catch one.
Well, we should set a trap.
Where did you find it? And Barthen just kind of points, over here! I found it over here! Come on! And just takes off again, this child of unstoppable energy.
I'm pretty sure he's going the wrong way, but if you follow the footprints, you can actually see where we really did
Running out
go.
at least towards the tree line, and some small degree of confusion later, you do end up crouched in some bushes, not far, maybe 30 yards out from where you'd seen it. And Urgula takes a look. It looks like it is not yet fully grown. You see it rests in the bushes there. It uses them for cover to conceal itself. It does not look like a nest. I don't see any other signs of them nearby. It could perhaps be one who has gotten lost.
Can we name it?
And Barthen just shrugs. I'm gonna name it. We're gonna eat it. And take its feet. They're lucky.
Can we take Barthen's feet? Are those lucky?
Lucky for me. It'll be faster than you.
About the only person they're lucky for.
Rose forever. Yes, Aram.
This flower. What's this flower?
This is just a simple wildflower, I think, or I don't know. You could ask Harik. I don't study much of. Look, if we're going to want to catch a Wolpertinger with a group of you without it getting away, they're very fast, if startled.
I can be fast.
You're not faster than a Wolpertinger.
You don't know.
You're going to have to work together.
Okay.
You're going to have to come up with a plan. Okay.
I've got a plan.
So if you wanted to catch this before it could escape further into the brush, lost to the trees, what is the first thing you would do?
Well, guys, I think we should surround it.
It is wise. Cut off avenues of escape. Ensure that it has nowhere to easily run away from you. That the area around is your arena. And that you yourselves form the trap. And as she's talking, the brush around you, the trees around you, start to kind of grow and darken, thickening and aging. As a scene transforms before you from a group of children just gathered on the outskirts of some bushes around a Wolpertinger to much the same party in a dense set of underbrush not far from the edge of a cliff. It's early in the afternoon. The sun is past its zenith, but not by much, and the bright light streaking down from overhead illuminates the moose standing in the clearing some 40 feet away. There's another member of your group now, but otherwise, the makeup is unchanged. You are joined by... Ooh, and what?
Hanwi, a small, short, Khalid maiden, apparently. Entirely normal in appearance, aside from...
Normal's the first thing I look up when I look at Hanwi.
Totally normal, aside from the strange silver hair and silver tattoos all over her body. Found in the forest, claims she came from the moon. Who would have thought?
Gosh, she's pretty.
And Aram...
But who seems to know an awful lot about how nature works.
Aram, no longer the toddler, excited and streaking through the trees for his Wolpertinger hunt here, is now much elder, some 19 summers of age. And how does he look? What do we see here?
You see a young human male, hair braided tightly back into a bun, wearing a medallion around his neck. The only ornamentation you see, a bow slung across his shoulders but half pulled, and a large long sword, out of place in this tundra environment, crouched low, wearing animal furs.
And Urgula, as she continues, her long and pointed ears at sharp contrast with her much softer eyes now as she is aged into adulthood. One of the two half-elven daughters of the Honor House Lord that you've known much of your life. Her normally very lithe and slender frame is keeled forward as she is down on both knees, just as she had been talking to you so many years ago, but weighed down by seasons of carrying her child. Her advanced pregnancy is very apparent under her pale purple fur-lined wormhide armor, and though her child's birth looms nigh, she has not forsaken her role as the following's head scout. She points out to the edges of the brush you currently conceal yourself with about the around this clearing where this moose stands. I would collect some of these sharp branches, hone them to points, scatter them around these likely avenues the moose would use to escape from this cliffside here. If it attempts to stampede, though its hooves are thick, their undersides are softer than they appear, especially when presented with weaponized traps such as these.
As you say, sister.
Amka, what are your thoughts? And what do we see of Amka now?
You see, a girl, a woman with horns about 2 foot in length, growing straight from the top of her head, twirled. Her hair is long and braided. It comes down normally over her shoulder. And at her waist is legs that turn into cloven feet. She is wearing very little in the way of any protective hiding, but is thick cloth, as if she's always cold. And she does have a unique odor that most can smell, so she tries to hide it with earthy herbs from the ground, but there's always a faint smell of brimstone following her about. Well, I can speak from experience. Hoofs are very soft from undersides. Oh, this flower. I found it. It is good for the child. Chew on it.
Thank you. In a moment, perhaps, but focus for now. Though a distraction could be a fine idea, if the moose's attention is focused elsewhere, one of you, if you have been practicing your hunt calls, imitating a cow in distress, he would become defensive, less likely to bolt, perhaps more dangerous, but less focused on his targets, less likely to engage us directly. And she is sort of breathing a little heavily after the journey out here, which, well, normally would not even register to Urgula, given her current condition, is much more exertion than usual. One thing is certain, we must not startle him. If we do, and he charges the group of us directly, our only recourse is to run. And Barthen is still here as well, now a very tall and well-built Kellan boy. He's always had a very striking face. He didn't grow into it.
You mean a face I want to strike?
Strikeable face.
So
you mean?
much as a child, but as he's aged, his dark hair pulled back into a thick, single braid to keep his striking eyes, truly impressive, always on display. One gold like the rising sun, and one a muted, almost reddish brown, like setting dusk. What armor he wears is a panoply of trophies now from his favorite hunts, but he always ensures that he never wears so much as to obscure the toned and built muscle that he carries and always shows with such pride. Even now, his mouth kind of skewed in the dismissive sneer, his impatience obvious in his mismatched eyes. Why don't we just rush him? There's 5 of us.
Sure, if you want to die, that's one way to quickly die.
I'm not even counting you, Amka.
You know, Barthen, I think that's a great idea. I think you should rush him.
Look, the thing's bigger than me. If it's not bigger, we're supposed to be hunters. And he's got now a well-carved spear set with a stone-pointed triangular barb at its tip. Just kind of gestures towards the moose as Urgula just rolls her eyes. This animal is our superior in strength, size, and speed. Before we strike, we must take every advantage. Now, you all know that you were out here from a very clear request from Sven, the grandfather of the tribe, leader of Falcon House, and at this point, largely the de facto leader of the whole following. Hunt down and bring back a meal worthy of the upcoming Night of the Green Moon, a festival that you all will have experienced every year of the lives even of the Broken Tusks, marking the end of winter and heralding in a new spring, a new dawn of plenty and joy. Urgula turns now to Verja, who is a full-grown man now. What do we see here?
Rather than the taller and more fully built out members of the group, a little more on the average for height and build, but he makes up for that in brute force. The weapon that he has, not nearly as finely crafted as this spear or as this bow. More so the jawbone of a large beast, fashioned into a large cutting implement of sorts. Not terribly long, but hefty, heavy, having to be wielded in 2 hands.
More of a smashing device.
More smashing
than a
and
sword.
Ripping through than anything else. And looking a bit concerned with the with Barthy. How do you say it again?
Barthen?
Barthen. With Barthen.
I'm gonna throw a lot of names at you here. We got a big following.
Yeah. Looking more concerned with Barthen's idea on let's just rush it because he's strong and knows this is way stronger.
And as you're looking out at it, this moose is just idly chomping some bits of thawed grass here as the frost of the winters have begun to start to give way in the afternoons, freeing some of this. It's just chomping away, having a good old time. No idea anything horrible is about to happen to, well, somebody. Hopefully the moose and not any of you.
Maybe Barthon.
maybe Barthen. He'll probably be fine.
He'll be fine.
We could, I could take some of those branches to the path behind it.
I could try to imitate the call. We've been practicing at least a little bit.
If you can make this sound, a distressed cow to pull his attention, and somebody else can cast a stone or something to the other underbrush over there.
I'll take care of that.
It was an aggressor. His focus will be split. He won't be sure where to turn his attention. He won't know which way to look, which way to focus until we are already upon him. Again, we have to ensure that we are ready before we pounce. We cannot be allowed to charge.
Aram, here. And magic will swirl about her and conceal your presence, and your scent vanishes.
Burns the the spirit. He can't charge everyone. Look, there's 6 people here. Just throw Amka out in front while he's distracted. She's small, she'll get out of the way. We set on him, it's easy. He comes to us.
I don't like being put as the bait. Why don't you be the bait? You have the spear.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I've got stuff to do.
When he
what are you gonna
charges
do?
you brace the spear, and he charges into the spear.
Do you see how thick this is and how big the moose is, Amka? I don't think it's gonna hold up to a bold
It
charge.
sounds like he's afraid.
I'm not
Sounds
afraid.
like we shouldn't let it charge.
Verja, Ozash, you keep an eye on the girls. I'm gonna go around and prepare to distract
And
its
what
attention.
do we see of Ozash now?
You see a very, very large half-orc man with long black threaded hair as well as his beard, with very interesting runic beads weaved in between them. They seem a little arcane, as you see, is what is normally known as. Very well built. He has a very large, hefty shield that is made of both what looks like pieces of tusk from animals as well as the thick leather and hides from many, many animals that are around, and a very sharp but rigged axe made of stone, teeth, and bone. And he has very interesting bones and trinkets hanging off of his cloak and his belt. And he just slowly gets up and looks at Artem. You seem... I've placed myself as the emergency brute force, as you know. So I will hold the moose in case things go...
Has he lifted the rock of adulthood, though?
I lifted the boulders of adulthood twice now. Thank you very much.
You just make sure that Barfon doesn't get the girls hurt.
Verja.
So it's okay if he doesn't, if he gets hurt.
Prologue,
the
it's
girls
the
are good.
longest. He'll hold on to this. Bar save the whales.
Oh,
There's a
boy.
card for you here. So, if you want to bring us into the Arkan Forge map here,
Tuck and roll.
I'm not even actually here to hunt. I'm here to make sure none of you get hurt.
I
And
know.
you're very good at it.
And offering prayers to Sister Cinder for her guidance and protection.
to do nothing. To do nothing. You do nothing.
Amka, you're gonna do great.
We can all pray to Sister Cinder. It doesn't take any special power.
If you do a really good job on this hunt, I have to do nothing.
But as you arrange yourselves, you are in this first bit of underbrush here. You feel that you would be able, as the moose is kind of near this cliffside and turned away from you, to move to this brush to the east, as far as this brush to the east, fairly easily. It wouldn't require any kind of a stealth check as long as you do it slowly and carefully. So however you want to begin to arrange yourselves to prepare this ambush,
There's no snow
feel free to
cover here,
do
right?
so. There is basically none. It is the end of winter. The ice is thawing. Its grass is exposed. You have traveled back down to the far end of your migratory route. You follow throughout the year the paths of these roaming packs of mammoths. that are so much of the Broken Tusk's livelihood. And they traverse back down southwest in the spring, down to the warmer, the more temperate climates as the ice begins to thaw. So yeah, there is no, there's not inches of snow on the ground here or
Rubble
anything.
it is.
And we can be anywhere in these 2 bushes.
Anywhere in these 2 bushes down in the southwest, you can move yourself
close.
around. Before we do anything, because why not start at 3? Chef ZJSA, daring attempt.
Chat's
Thing
bloodthirsty.
you want a moose to do, really?
And before we all split up, I'm going to pull out a little thing from my pack. Before we split up, for protection, I made it with the ashes from the bonfire back home, and she just kind of rubs a little bit of ointment on each of your back of your hands. They
Thanks,
have
Umpha.
blessings. I prayed over them all night.
Don't eat it again, Verja.
Tastes like roots.
Stop eating it.
If you want to
Eventually,
put
a plant will
Barth in, I made him a bugbear because it's ugly looking. And it's funny.
He can go over there.
What are you talking about? We put him in front of them.
Push.
Kind of near the,
Oh no!
He can go
near the front of
right.
with
About
his
right
spear
there.
in hand, ready for action. So as this moose has not noticed you, once you start to try to get its attention with some of these things, you're going to have but moments to try to engineer your attack here. What do you want to do? I guess we'll just go around the table. Umka, what do you want to try to do anything as they begin to head for this moose?
I'm not really experienced in this. I don't really know what to do.
Well, Weepa's given you, Urgla's given you several ideas, and you can either, you can choose later if you want to help somebody else do something as well. Attempting to cast some sharpened branches and the likely avenues of escape the moose might use, trying to imitate this cow moose distress call, or literally just throwing a rock, or anything else you could think to do as well. It doesn't have to be, those are just Urgla's suggestions. Or you can wait to try to aid somebody else. with
I'll
that thing.
wait.
So how about you then, Verja?
Lure hunting to try and imitate the call, to make it focus on the bush directly across this clearing, so it comes potentially closer to us.
Okay, that is absolutely a thing that would make sense for lore hunting.
Could also use survival. Up to you, really.
I will absolutely just let you use lore hunting for that.
Okay.
So you're going to try to make the cow call. Aram.
Aram, avoiding notice, is going to attempt to get up around it to throw the rock to distract it so that they can make the first strike against it while it's not looking in their direction.
So
Okay.
you want to be right there.
Yeah.
Barthen is up at the front, down low with his spear, just inching forward, just ready to go. He doesn't look like he's interested in aiding in any of these diversions
Would
here.
he want to be in that bush or this bush?
Doesn't matter to him. He just wants to hit the moose now.
Fair enough. Put him as
Ozosh.
physically close as he can be.
Yeah, as physically close as he can be. Yeah.
Well, with my knowledge of how the wildlife functions, I'm going to try and study its movements and then block its path as soon as it moves. So I will use my knowledge of nature and to it.
Okay, try
Perceptive.
to stop it from escaping or getting into a charge,
Exactly.
almost putting yourself as a target in the way. Fair enough. And Hanwi?
So is Ozosh setting himself up here, or is he going to try to be at one of the? He's going to set himself up here. So Hanwi is going to actually be taking these pointed branches and scattering them off to the side. And in fact, she'll start with covering the escape path over here, and she'll actually try to save some to put in front of Ozosh, because if it charges you, we can use this to slow it down when it hits it.
Seems like a good idea.
Right. So we'll start, I suppose, with everyone in position. Little nods to you and kind of hunkers down at the back of this bush, watching as you use your lore hunting to attempt to make a cow moose call. And then give me your best cow moose call, my friend.
Moo.
I'm convinced.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I mean,
Do you want to roll it?
you will know immediately if this is where you're not.
Fair enough.
Because he's either going to be confused or he's going to be pissed.
I'm just praying.
Or romance. Oh my God! We started off.
Damn good moose call.
The man
The
just
bestest
dropped
of the
a
moose calls.
20.
That's a 4.
Do the second moose call.
Moo.
It is a very sexy moose call. At least a very distracting and distressed moose call. And as you do, you see this moose turn around and immediately look out your direction and kind of lower its head, almost sort of like curiously stalking towards the bush, confused why it does not see a fine cow appearing before it
Licks
here.
its hoof, moves
Slicks its antlers back. It's clearly interested. And at that, Aram, if you want to make me probably thievery to attempt to try and make the sound appear to come from over there rather than, you. I get a good rock to not hit any of the brush around where you currently are.
Got a finagle.
That is a 2.
You don't have any decks?
No, that's on the die.
Oh.
What's your
That is a
total?
5.
With a 5,
Moose.
that's not going to critically fail, but it is, I would say, very distracted by the cow moose call. At this point, as it looks over, Barthen, spear in hand, lights up. It's like, oh, finally! And gets ready to charge.
Oh,
And there,
As expected.
my friends, we're gonna roll some initiative. It's Barthen's going.
And despite it being lower, I'm going to use lore hunting for the roll because
You can absolutely use lore hunting to the roll for sure. And Ozosh, as you are attempting to kind of make yourself big and distracting as well, I would let you use nature or survival for initiative if you wanted to.
I mean, it's the same either way.
Fair enough. So, Amka,
Look
10.
big. What are you talking about? I
10.
think.
10.
10.
Put you probably just a little bit over here. Verja,
16.
16. Aram,
It's going to be a 18.
18. Hanwi,
Hanwi has a 15.
got a nice little line here. Ozosh.
It's what you say, a dirty 20.
Ooh. Got a nice little block. Amka at the bottom. Amka's hanging out, just ready for action. Barthen. Let's give Moose first. Moose is going to also get an 18. That sounds like
That is a
demon.
terrifying.
Terrifying Moose. Moose horrifying is lore accurate, I suppose. That fits. And so Moose at an 18, distracted as it is. Barthen is going to get a 21.
Oh my God. He's
Makes
so
total
ready.
sense.
Oh, jeez.
Turn
happy
the
face.
happy face upside down.
Barthen is ready for action. So as he charges out from the underbrush, Ozosh emerges to attempt to be a distraction. So, and you are going to cast these thorny branches.
In front of Ozash.
And these are kind of a thing that are going together. So with nature or survival, one of you assist the other one. Let's say you're probably assisting Ozosh, I would imagine, with your branches here, Hanwei, if you want to roll yours first.
Survival. That's a 15.
So for this, as this is very much like a team effort, that will certainly still help you out. You will get a +1, even if that's a normal DC 20.
Doing a nature, that's going to be, and you said +1. That is going to be 12.
With a 12 is exactly the DC. So level 1 by
+1.
your powers combined. You get enough out of the way that as Barthen bursts from the underbrush and this moose goes to charge in, you are going to see him hit on some of these sharp branches, and as they penetrate into the soft spaces around and under his hoof, he will physically flinch and almost be limping with one foreleg up as he comes to engage. And Barthen is going in. Barthen's ready for action. He is going to charge directly into this moose as it's confused, horny, and in pain.
I assume
Such
short
is life.
spear.
As you are,
He's getting to like It not 10 feet away.
He is a short spear. It's not actually a reach spear. Charges directly into the moose, and as he goes, putting all of his weight up into his shoulder, casting forward, the moose throws its head down and
kills him.
Scoops him with its antlers because it's definitely ready and still is going to have a reaction on turn 1.
Throws him over it.
And is literally going to attempt to toss him like it's a big old snow shovel.
Please tell me that was a high number.
Off the cliff.
I think
It is going to critically succeed.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Bye, Barthen.
I don't know if I want him to
Oh
die.
no. What will we do?
Barthen is unconscious on the backside of the moose.
On the backside of the moose.
He took it for us.
Henry's just
You see the antlers pick his body up and just effortlessly fling him head over heels as he lands right on his neck and shoulders behind it and just kind of crumples onto the frozen ground unconscious immediately.
Oh, that was not a pleasant sound at all.
A bit of a crunch, and the moose turns his attention, furious and confused, still kind of split between the bushes where he emerged and the bushes where the rock was thrown and the cow noise, puffing out its chest as it rises up on 3 legs, head up, looking down its nose in almost this territorial display of dominance. Ozash.
Jeez, that is a very scary moose.
He's a big lad.
Yeah. But you know who else is big as well? Me.
Don't think you're bigger.
So I'm going to.
token for moose.
Ooh, here is a large animal.
That's a large animal.
Oh,
I
it's like a
am
moose.
going
If I
to.
squint, it's a moose.
I'm going to move up 15 feet. A shield at the ready.
I already flipped Barthen, so you're good there.
Yeah. So shield at the ready. Make it, and he's pounding his axe up against the shield. Look at me. Come towards me.
You have an action left.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be absolutely necessary, but considering I just watched Barton get flipped over, he's going to, as he's, getting the moose's attention, he's going to mutter a spell under his breath. Come at me. Scoundrel, shield. Shield on top of shield.
You're aware as a player they don't stack, right? Just to be sure.
Yes.
But you have 2 of shields.
You can break one.
You can break one of them.
That's true. You can break one and still have the other one. That's fair. They actually, I guess, do stack for blocking purposes and then they don't get
You
destroyed.
see, I am a smart athlete.
As you
It says
move
so
up,
on my sheet.
as you move up and bark out, you have an arcane shield and a physical shield up in front of this moose. It throws its head down towards you, but not swinging its antlers, not immediately attacking, actually. It is going to, let out this bellowing cry directly in your face. Just this undulating moose roar. We had our cow moose call. This is big, angry man bull moose call. And it's actually going to attempt to intimidate you, as it thinks
I'm
it's
intimidated.
fighting for a woman here.
Fair enough.
This is against your will DC.
So that'll be 15.
I'm super intimidated.
It's gonna be a 28.
Okay, it is a lot bigger than I thought.
For not sharing a language.
24, but
Not
it's a
a
nat
critical.
20.
Oh,
Oh.
So you are frightened too, as this thing looms over you.
just
You
looks
know,
at you. You
understandably, perhaps.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's
A
not
li-
bigger.
Okay, now it's the time. A little help would be nice.
It's pretty large, and it is going to wheel around in place, kind of trying kicking this one leg out, clearly in pain from these thorns, these pointed branches that it stepped into, before it wheels around and just flings its antlers at you broadside.
Shield.
Yeah, you have your shield,
-2 +1.
and it's gonna be a 30.
I'm definitely popping my magic shield.
That's fair.
Because that is just gone. And then he's putting all his weight into his shield, even putting the axe behind it to just hold off as much as he can with it.
And as this thing slams into you here, just absolutely shattering through your magical shield, that's going to reduce the damage you take by 5, correct?
Yes, the magic shield, yes. And then it's exactly 10 over, so it critically succeeds. Doesn't break my other shield, I would suppose.
Well, you can't actually block with both, so you still have the other shield raised
Okay.
for defense, and it's not going to take any damage, but you're going to take 5 less as it obliterates your magical shield.
Okay, just making sure I read that correctly.
The good news is you block with the arcane shield because this would instantly destroy your shield.
Yeah.
It is going to crit you for 20, which is going to be 15 after the reduction from your arcane shield.
So after he takes this, smash, like just the pure weight and size of this thing, it just nearly crushes and buckles him. Even though Ozosh is a very large man himself, he's
You got
quite a bit of force.
bull moose
It's a
towering
bigger
over
moose.
you. You see why I was scared.
You see quite a bit of like blood just running down his face.
Oh my gosh.
And it's gonna slam into you, and then as it like broadsides you, it's gonna pull its head back and just slam its forehead down into the ground at you. For a 17 to hit.
With that second hit, he sees it coming and he puts the remaining bit of his strength and weight into it just to block it and veer it off.
It's the opposite
Again, a
of what I
little
said.
help would be nice.
Arum,
I said we brace and let it charge us, not charge it and then get hit.
you don't want to let it charge you. It'd be way worse if it charged you.
Let's walk up to and get hit twice.
Arum,
All right, I got you. Hunt prey.
that is the prey. Yep, all right. Target acquired.
And then as it's knocking its head this way, it'll expose its jugular to me, and he's going to use hunted shot and plink 2 arrows at this thing off in quick succession.
Now, it doesn't make any attempt to dodge these. It hasn't put any focus towards you. It is still like really fixated on this cow moose call and isn't sure exactly where it's supposed to be looking. It is flat-footed and clumsy one from your ambush.
That's a nat 20.
Woo.
First arrow is going to absolutely bury itself in the side of Moose's neck.
What a shame it's an arrow.
And for the second one, I'm a flurry ranger, so that's going to be at -3.
That's good, because this moose is
It's
At
not
minus
going to
kill
do
you.
much. It's a 5 on the die.
probably not now. But one solid leading arrow.
Are bows dead?
Bows are deadly D8.
Deadly D8.
Cool.
So the blue one is going to be the deadly.
Okay.
Nice. So that's going to be an 8 on the non-deadly one.
So 16.
So 16, 17 points of piercing.
Pretty good.
And for my final action, I will attempt to hide.
Probably smart.
Duck back into the bushes.
Attempt. Attempt is the main word in that sentence.
13.
Well, Aram ducks into cover. Verja.
How is the moose looking? I would imagine pretty
I
fine.
don't want to talk about how much health the moose has.
Hit it till Moose stops moving.
So this is definitely a hit it till it stops breathing scenario.
You are hunting,
Yeah,
and it's very angry.
and at least going to be a little bit intelligent about this. And the moose call is going to end, as instead it gets replaced with a barbarian coming out of the bush to flank later. For now, just working that way.
Okay.
Not enough movement. As I rush out, and rage before swinging at its leg that it's limping on.
And even as it sees you come out from what its call came from, its attention is still like fixated on that section of the bush where it heard the call coming from. Because that couldn't have come from you. This is a guy. This isn't a beautiful cow.
That's a beautiful man.
That's a beautiful man.
That will be a 16.
16, since it is flat-footed and clumsy from the distraction, will hit.
And that will deal 15 damage.
Solid.
D12 is a hell of a thing.
D12's a hell of a drug. You get a big hit in there, and between Aram's great arrow and your pretty hefty swing here, the moose actually staggers a bit, a little off balance from not wanting to put pressure down this one leg as it snaps it down to the ground, still kind of wincing, snorting and turning its head between Ozosh and Virgin, not really sure who to destroy. Hanwi.
So I'm going to keep in cover here, and I'm going to make a movement this way. Let's see here. That's going to be 10, 15, 20, 25. And I think 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, I can do it. And then moon shine on you. And light will kind of shine down on both Ozosh and on Varja. And each of you get guidance. So +1 on your next attack, skill check, save.
Probably those three things.
All of it.
That sounds right. Attack, skill
Perception check.
Perception check.
Saving
All
throw.
the things.
All of the
And
things.
saving throw, yeah.
Alrighty.
I'll take it.
Any dice we roll towards an enemy.
So, Amka.
I can't move over there. Okay. All right, let's go. I'm going to move 5, 15, 20, 25. I think that's 25.
Looks good to me.
Sister Cinder Protect. And I'm going to cast Forbidding Ward, targeting the moose and the guy who just got hit for a bunch.
Fair enough.
So as you just see a rune flash up in front of you that you clearly can read as Protect, and it just stays no matter how you move between you and the moose.
Oh, much appreciated.
Plus
Thank
one
you.
to your +1 status to your AC.
Oh, thank you.
Don't die over there, please.
Well, he is definitely, eating some dirt. He's having a good time. Just, vibing.
How's-
It's cool. He's not plot relevant or anything.
See, looking okay.
He looks unconscious. As he hit, he kind of got dropped on his head. He's not visibly, bloodied literally at all. He just looks knocked the hell out in the dirt.
If he got hit on his head, that's the least vulnerable part of it.
Yeah, just in the top of the spinal column. That's where you want to get hit.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Ozosh.
With a neck like his, yeah.
That's fair.
This moose hits pretty hard. Maybe I can hit it almost as hard, maybe harder. And then as he winds back his axe for a swing, you see heat start emanating off of it as he mutters the words "Samoi Hiti," and his axe blade ignites as he does produce flame with the swing of his axe. Spell strike, produce flame.
All right, hit him with the spicy.
Hit him with the extra spice.
Kill
Does make
flat-footed
it-
and clumsy.
So, I'm still feared 1, plus the...
You're still feared 2.
Oh, I'm still feared
Okay,
2,
this is
so
your first
the guidance
after.
negates 1 of it, so...
Right.
So that's going to be
21.
math, new character sheet.
Magus.
21.
21's definitely going to hit.
Hey, hitting is all that matters. D8 for my axe and a D4 for my fire. Oh, sorry. That is going to be... Is that a 1?
That's a 1.
That's a 1 and a 4, so that's 1 slashing damage... Or, I'm sorry. 5 slashing damage and 4 fire damage, so 9 altogether.
Pretty slim as your inbound fighter at too, doesn't it?
into your fire damage and
So-
strength to your slashing damage.
So 8 points of fire damage and
Yeah.
5 points of slashing.
Yeah, that's correct. I forgot about that.
Tell he wants us not to die.
And then
Yes, he's reminding us.
Spell
still
modifier.
learning. But anyway, but he's not done yet. As he's, you see the axe blade cut into the moose's chest and like burn away at bits of its fur.
And it's a big hit as the fire kind of
Yep.
blasts through this thing's body,
yeah.
even as large as it is.
He follows it up, and you see the leather on his shield start to sparkle and glow a little bit, and he shouts out, "Skidro Hogva," And then he's going to immediately use his focus spell, Shielding Strike, and he's going to shield boss it.
Okay. Swinging again. So you're at a minus.
5.
Spell check counts as 2 for your multiple attack penalty. So
Yep.
you're at a minus 10.
That's it. I only attacked him.
Spell strike's 2. So you're
Oh,
at
yeah,
minus 10.
that's true. That's true. I rolled a 2 on the die, so he's gonna try and shove with the shield boss, but he just overshoots it a little bit, maybe because of the blood in his eye from earlier.
But you've got the shield up.
But it's okay because he is immediately recoils it back as if the magic is guiding him and puts it right back in front of him.
Alrighty.
Autopilot shield.
And
Autopilot shield.
so you got Forbidding Word up on Ozash. That is. What does that do?
Plus 1
1
status.
Plus 1
to the
status.
AC.
So it'll counter his frightened one.
Okay. So fair
Minus
enough.
5% crit chance is what that is.
Moose, again, as he has his head slammed down the ground as he pulls it up, is going to flip it up towards Ozash, almost swinging these antlers again like just a bucket, but rather than to flip you, just punching outward with these huge growths of. Well, I don't know what an antler is made of. It's not bone, is it?
It is,
Very-
it is
I would think
basically
it's
bone.
Pretty much bone.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's the same stuff as your fingernails.
As your fingernails.
Cartilage.
Karen.
Keratin.
Keratin.
And it is going to swipe for a 21.
Shields up,
It shields up.
and protection rune is that's exact it. Yep.
You want to block it?
I'm definitely blocking it.
Block good.
Blocking very good.
All right, so what's your shield's hardness?
5.
Okay, so that's
Wait,
gonna
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it's
it's
negate.
fine.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
if it's a steel shield or steel shield, then yeah.
Yes, steel
then
shield.
that is gonna fully negate the die. So you are just going to take 7 points
And
of damage.
Unfortunately, this headbutt, for lack of a better term, hits him right into his opening and just knocks Ozash down, and he's just out.
And as Ozash flips, the moose kind of now have very much in fight for its life mode, slamming that other foreleg down regardless of the spikes, wheeling away actually from Verja before it lifts up both of its hind legs and just boots backwards with both hooves directly towards you. It is at a minus a lot because you're fully behind it and it's a second attack. So only a 23.
It'll hit.
And you are going to catch big boots for 18 points of bludgeoning damage. And then it is just going to bellow out into the brush towards Umka there as the closest thing that it can see coming out towards it. It doesn't really know what to make of you. You look kind of like a tiny moose person with your little horns.
Oh no.
And it is going to bellow out another intimidate to this contender it sees approaching here.
That cow in the brush is mine.
And it is going to be a very daring attempt here in its final moments, perhaps, as it's gravely wounded.
Did it move at all?
No.
No, it
just kind
moves.
of pivoted.
Ah.
Making it, actually trained in intimidate.
It can
Oh.
Oh. Interesting.
So it just gets even better.
So, with the train bonus, with its level, it's going to, and it's not speaking the language, it's going to be 17 versus your will DC.
Hey, I'm good. No, thank you.
No, thank you, I don't want any. You sit over there. What's your will save?
19.
That's
Oh, you guys
I'm
are
a cleric.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Claire.
That's true. You just
Plus 9.
you see the throes of a gravely injured, extremely confused, very aroused animal.
I
as-
flinch and go, wait, no, it's over there. It's fine. It's not over here yet.
it's not charging.
That's what I thought it was going
And
to
it
do.
starts to, but like it's every time it hits with that leg, it kind of buckles a little bit where those thorns are deeply embedded. It doesn't look like it can,
job,
given its
Conway.
injuries. Aram,
Aram, seeing that the prey is very badly injured and possibly one more shot could finish it off, will aim carefully and again take 2 quick shots, trying to hit for right between its eyes since it's pointed right at him.
Still flat-footed and clumsy.
That's going to be 15.
That's exactly flat-footed and clumsy. It's a good thing you got both.
And then at -3. Again, 15.
All right, 2 arrows, 2 shots directly into the front of this moose as it's facing you.
That'll do 8 points of piercing.
We're both together? Oh, because it's 100 shot, it puts them together,
Yeah.
right? And it stumbles. It stumbles and its legs buckle and falters a bit, but it's still up.
Sister Cinder, protect. Last arrow. 1 more. -6. You never know. Believe.
Pin cushion it.
That is a 7. That's 13.
Last one's just going to hit the antlers and kind of flake. You have an action left still, don't you?
Yeah. Which I will use to hide.
No.
There are old hunters and bold hunters. There are no old bold hunters.
Hey guys, that's gonna be a 22.
All right, crouch down in the brush there, playing the living game. Verja, taking a big boot, but still going.
I'm not down. And that'll be a 16 to take 1 swing at its exposed flank.
17.
17 with guidance.
17 definitely hits it.
Nice.
For 16 damage.
Verja,
As I cleave one of those rear legs off.
what happens? Did you?
Yeah, it's got weakened. Which leg is weakened?
It's a 4-leg that's got like the thorn stuck in it.
Okay.
But it's just like he doesn't want to put pressure on it, and he's having a hard time using it well.
Well, he kicked out with both, and before he can get his leg back down and braced, I cleave at the ankle and take the leg out from under it, breaking the bone and sending the beast down to the ground.
And with a big, mighty swing, this last cry out from this moose as it buckles down onto the ground, falling now between the prone bodies of Ozosh and Barthen. And nobody died.
Big V!
I'm
Still in a lot of pain here.
Stabilize. Stabilize. Stabilize the both of them.
Arm runs over and tackles you.
Quickly.
Just
I'm
pick
gonna
you up and throw it in the air.
Stand in
Got
the middle
one.
of them and just sit down and give a prayer. From our hearth, I offer you this, and do just a 3-action heal, because I have 4
The
slots of
wake up
that.
spell.
So
Moose
Everyone,
gets back up.
you heal for 3. Bartham heals for 3.
I heal for 3.
You heal for 3.
you heal for 3 from your boot. And Argala, back in the brush, the grin on her face. Yes! Fantastic. Is everyone okay?
I've had better days, but I will live.
They don't
think
look so
Bartham-
okay at this point.
And Barthen is on the ground.
At least I didn't. At least I didn't get flipped over.
You did great.
Barthon,
I am
you see
disappointed that
why
I didn't.
we
You
don't
did a
rush
good
to
job,
the
Barthon.
I apologize.
Here, chew on this. It'll help with the pain.
What happened? Did we kill him?
You were magnificent, Bartham.
Don't lie to him.
It gave you flying
Are you
lessons.
talking about it? It was magnificent to see.
Come on, man. Let me help you out.
Oh, thank you.
Come on.
Oh, thank you.
Here, lean on me.
Oh,
Well, at least you
Thank
could
you.
take advantage of the opening I gave you.
Do we
That's right.
Not
That's
totally useless.
do we start a new track for who's winning? That's 1 kill for Moose for Twig and 0 for you.
Oh, come on. That was a team win.
let me guess. Furniture took out its legs.
Yeah, but if you would have got the last hit, you would have said you
Despite
got the point.
Size, it
But
only
I
counts as
didn't.
1.
It's a moose for the feast. It'll be everyone's once we get it back to camp.
Maybe can we take a few minutes to try?
Of course.
Yes. That's, I mean, goodness gracious, he landed right on his head.
Yes, I'm
This is-
I'm coming.
I don't know.
Impressive.
I'm pretty
You-
excited. I'm going to start breaking it down.
Standing.
Well, hold on. It is going to be some process. We will take all the rest that you need. We are going to be here for some hours, prepping the carcass to return to the camp.
I know it's going to be great.
We can't exactly haul a full moose back with us. And
Oh, yeah, pumped.
as you all take some rest, and Urgula pulls around a satchel of similar much to what Umka has, of some woven cloth and some herbs that are nothing for pain relief, some basic medicine to take care of everyone who was injured by this creature, before guiding you through the process of butchering the carcass of this moose here. Which does, as she did not misspeak, it takes several hours to ready this, as it is far more than just skinning the animal and removing the hide, but preparing and organizing the organs for transport, carving out all of the different cuts of meat, even taking some parts of its skeleton that could be of use, of various ribs and the large femurs of the beast that are decent, more decent supporting pole as any log for smaller jobs, and guides all of you through your first work butchering an animal of this size. Now, you've been on plenty of hunts, you've taken down plenty of foes before, but nothing quite as large as a very angry and confused bull moose. All things considered, it went very well.
You want to know the most annoying thing about butchering an animal?
I'm concerned
smell?
about your answer to this.
I've butchered pigs before.
Okay.
It's the hair.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not
Yeah.
wrong. That
We had
is
to shave the pigs
It's
before
going to
we
be a
could
lot.
butcher them.
Now, this is going to be a question
full
that I
thing.
hope is not the new "Who's trained in society" meme from Curse of the Crimson Throne. Who is trained in survival?
Survival and lore hunting.
The three of you? As you work with Urgula to parcel out this carcass and figure out how to utilize all these various parts and to get them back to camp with you, a process that is going to take you pretty much until nightfall, the three of you gain access to a new feat called All of the Animal. The other two, Ozosh and Amka, should you become trained in survival in the future, this will also just unlock for free.
Okay.
But you know how to make the best and most efficient use of a hunted animal's carcass. And when you come across or take down any large or larger animal corpse that has died within the past day, you can use your survival to subsist off of that carcass dramatically more effectively than you would be just throughout the surrounding environs.
Do we have that, or we can
You
take
have it.
Okay.
You just have it.
That's neat.
It's free.
Yeah, just free feet, slap it on top of your stuff.
Does that double up with Forager? Because
Absolutely does, yes.
Nice.
Basically, you can use that carcass, and it will multiply with it. And we can get the exact text for it
Yeah.
later. It's not relevant right this second. But again, your time here, some hours of butchering and then some hours of travel won't have you returning back to the following's campground until evening. You would arrive back at camp probably some 20 minutes after the sun has set, just the final leg of your journey taking place through these travels through the darkness. And as the group of you arrive, the bonfire centered in the camp, lit and roaring, one of the more permanent areas that the Broken Tusks set up along their migratory paths, as the grounds here are only a few hours' journey from the ritual site known as Rockloom, where the Night of the Green Moon Festival has always occurred. It is a great and sacred site to all of the following, and one that, again, you have visited every year as your travels have brought you back to the southern fringes of the realm. The following would be very impressed by the first great hunt by its newest crop of young hunters, and you would be met with a wide array of smiles, congratulations, claps on the back as the group of you come in bearing the fruits of your labor, that is the entire carcass of this moose across the 7 or 6 of you really. Urgula, not exactly in a lot of position to carry terribly much, and besides,
matter.
the hunt doesn't count if you don't get it back to camp.
Yep.
Hey, good news. It's hard to smell like brimstone when you're covered in fresh meat.
This man was a champion. Do you see him?
We all did our part.
A
I
story
just got
I'm
the hit.
sure you would be able to tell time and time again throughout the night as you regale many of your friends and even elders on the following of your stories. One who would be very interested in hearing it told is Harik, the leader of Otterhouse, the group within the following that I believe literally all of you now belong to. Harik is the Death Scream, a song singer. She is one who carries the oral tradition of your following, one of the elders and one of the tribe's mammoth lords, as they are known, a title that is very literal, one that is bestowed quite directly upon a member of the following or any following throughout the realm who has managed to tame and control a mammoth. In fact, you follow these migratory paths of the large herd, but you have 5 of these animals that are tamed, that are domesticated, that are at least beholden to their mammoth lords within your following. And Harik would very much be interested in hearing Ozosh's side of this tale, as you are one who has very much taken yourself to this art of song.
Indeed.
So, Ozosh, then, consider this part of your tutelage. Regale us, all of us here within the house, of your tales of this fine hunt that have happened this afternoon. You have brought back the corpse of a moose, an animal much grander, much larger than any one of you or even the group of you combined, and yet you triumphed. Tell us of this tale.
Very well. He picks up his shield, and then he takes his axe, and he made the shield himself, so it almost resembles somewhat of a war drum as well. So he starts pounding the shield and starts going in a deep groan. Oh, and then as it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, he progresses into the traditional language of the ancestor and makes a song off the spot about how brave he and his teammates were to bring this mighty beast as a giant feast, and how wondrous and victorious Verja was the final blow and knocking down its legs, and just a very long dramatic thing, and totally not noticing Hanwi staring at him the entire time.
You would have the full attention of not just Hanwi, but also the children of the following, not just the ones of Otterhouse. The house division really is more or less who your direct leader is, the almost like father or mother figure to the whole group of you. Mm-hmm. But also where you stay. Which of the 4 large tents within the following's grounds are where you break your meals, where you sleep, where you spend your spare time, that which you have. And all of the children, about a half dozen of them from throughout the camp, regardless of the house they are beholden to, would find their way into the Otterhouse's tent to listen to Ozosh's song, for him to regale them of the hunt of this moose. And with a night of some degree of this victorious revelry, it would pass to the next morning, healed, patched up. Again, those wounds, now that you're back at camp, could very easily be tended to either by yourselves or Ozosh perhaps want to be looked over by Nocta, another one of the mammoth lords and the lord of, ironically, the moose house.
Those moose.
As she is, or her title is quite literally Nocta the Healer. It is her role within the camp, as she is able to tend not just easily with her medicine and her attention as a doctor, but with her devout piety to Sister Cinder. Your up-and-coming magic here, Amka, something certainly you are working on, but for the moment, just the faintest echo of the powers that Nocta commands. You have seen her work borderline miracles of magic before, all but bringing people back from the dead, even those whose hearts had stopped. If attended to quickly enough, Nocta was able to breathe life back to once more.
It's almost like divine magic is actually just miracles from a god.
Divine magic is quite literally you're just doing miracles. Yeah, God gives you miracles and you get to go do miracle things. You would not see much of Barthen that evening. He is not a member of Otterhouse with you. He is beholden to Falcon House and certainly would not be going out of his way to spend any time with the group of you or to come join in your story, Ozash. Which is, rude, but also kind of Barthen.
I mean, I did not use the traditional word for, what is it, fool, I suppose, in my song, so he may have taken offense to that.
But the morning after the moose hunt is crisp and cool, still just on the tail end of winter and the cusp of spring. The Broken Tusk camp bustling with activities as everyone begins in earnest their commencement for the festival, their preparations. The Night of the Green Moon is in 3 days, and there is a great amount both of physical preparation. There is a whole moose carcass that needs to be readied, and much of the morning's meal would include stewed hunks of the less presentable, less desirable sections, much of the organ meat that would come through. But there are also a lot of religious and sacred preparations, traditions to be upheld. Many depart to collect spring herbs, hunt small game, forage root vegetables, and just keep the following going. Many others remain within the camp, preparing things like the carcass of the moose or carvings and fetishes used for the ceremony itself. While everyone else goes about their business, the group of the 5 of you, all within your otter house, would see a figure come through the flap of the tent, one who does not grace the otter tent terribly often. The elderly visage of Grandfather Sven. While he is the de facto head of the Falcon House, and in fact the grandfather of Barthen, he is again, just by his age, he has passed 100 summers and he looks damn good for 100, I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's also my great-grandfather.
He does not often come to the other individual tents for things. That is the purview of the other Mammoth Lords. But he comes seeking out the group of you, 5 specifically. The broad smile on his face. He does bear the wear of this 100 winters he's survived, but his spirits, you've always known them to be high, as undaunted as this warm smile he oft wears. He's got a massive gray mantle of fur rolling around his shoulders, coating much of the blue cloth cladding that he has across his chest and the rest of his body. And most notably, he has a single swipe of blue ink across his face, streaking past one eye, the colors of a man with a life sworn to the Broken Tusks. Similar face markings would be common throughout the following. I mean, I think several of you have
all of us do.
Almost, if not everyone. Hanvi's got her own thing going on.
But actually, she does wear a bit of blue because that's the Broken Tusk color.
Does she?
Yeah, she has like a little band of blue around her waist.
Oh, okay.
It's on her mini.
I knew she had like the brown poncho and like the silvery tattoos because it's not exactly tattoos. They're kind of like mystical moon magic or whatever they are.
Technically, they're the whorls of her familiar that she has inside her body.
There's a
you can do
backstory.
That's
We're not going to talk about that right now.
fair enough.
It's one of those, there's a whole lot of backstory. You'll probably never hear things, but there's a reason.
Ask Nick about it. He's super excited.
He would be glad to tell you. But Grandfather Sven enters, and as he speaks, his voice almost bears the weight of his age more than his face does. Young ones, Urgula says good things about your scout training. Said you might make good Mammoth Lords someday, huh? Let us hope so. And as his smile kind of broadens at this own humor of his face crinkling like parched earth. The green moon rises 3 nights from tonight, and its light will mark each and all of you as full broken tusks. There are still many things that must be done if we are to be ready for this ceremony. And you would hear another voice from behind him, a towering figure. You're 7 feet tall, jet black eyes, at odds with his stark white hair, a single branch by comparison to your grandfather Sven or many others within the following. And got the chiseled tip of a stone spear peeks from behind his heavily layered brown fur trappings drawn around himself. Wotan carries himself with much more cladding than many of the other Tusks, perhaps due to his elven blood. The long, fine locks of gray hair trailing in rows down the back of his neck, a couple grouped in beads dropping down either side of his face. His gaze, I, as a person sitting at this table, will maintain that no one will ever get entirely used to matching the gaze of an elf, because Pathfinder elves are frickin' terrifying. Look at him. Look at his face. It is a black portal to the void.
I love him.
Aw.
It's great.
He's thinking about
so
kittens.
cool.
Like, that is super awesome, but I guess if you live around them your entire life,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be as off-putting, but like, man,
They're kitten eyes.
Galarian elves are terrifying.
It's like imagining you live your entire life for 30 years and never once see a dog and walk into a house and there's just a dog there.
That's,
Or a cat.
I just imagine
like-
like all like the new babies when they first see him just start crying immediately.
They do that to everyone.
For what it's worth, I've been around Pathfinder for about, 7 years now?
that's what I'm saying. I've been playing this forever. Like,
And
it's
I'm
not
still
like
not used to it.
it's not like this is new. Like, elves have looked like this forever, and Mauricio is still horrifying every single time I see her all art. She looks like a damn alien made out of throwing knives. Like, it's,
Elves are aliens.
which is, I suppose,
Anyways,
Probably
We're
degree
literally
of
from a different planet.
intentional.
I'm from a different
what's
planet.
our friend here?
The short
He
planet.
towers
Hey.
over Sven and also, I imagine, all of the rest of you, just through his massive frame. 3 things, exactly. First, the ritual site at Rockloom must be scouted, cleaned, and secured before the Green Moon ceremony. Second, we need you to carry fragile ceremonial vessels yourselves and fill them with water from the Gornok River as part of your rites. Third, there are some... I'm going to just go ahead and ask the audience. Is it tapers? Is it tapirs?
Taper.
Tapers.
Is it tapers? I thought it was
Tapers.
I'm pretty
tapers,
sure it's
but like
tapers.
it scared me.
Tapers.
There are some tapers nearby we seek to add to our herd. Capturing them would go a long way towards your training. And Iowa kind of nods with a wide smile. These 3 tasks over the following days fall to the group of you. Who would be marked as full-fledged members of the following as the Green Moon rises.
Very well. Is there a particular one you would like done first?
And Wotan kind of shrugs a bit with one hand. I think it could perhaps be wise to follow after the tapers. It will alert our mammoths to potential predators at the watering holes. The sight of water, tapers rush ahead, whereas mammoths lumber behind slowly. If something in the water attacks the tapers, we can redirect the mammoths before they panic, or worse, stampede. Their services to the herd are invaluable. And his face is sort of grim. Tapers are plentiful. Mammoths are not. Broken tusks are not. To ensure the survival of our following, we must protect the mammoths. And Tapers sacrifices a noble one will be grateful to them. But it is unknown how long this small group of them will remain.
Then I think then the tapers should be important. I can go talk to them. Perhaps I can convince them to come and join us.
And Sven nods. That could very well be wise. I would send Emek with you. Find her. She is a very proven herself to be a very talented herder. Do not discount her for her young age. Her summers do not belay her wisdom, nor her seemingly divine-given nature with animals.
Of course.
Cousin
Thank you.
Emek will be very helpful.
We'll take care of this in the morning.
And this is the morning of the
I thought it
following
was
day.
after the...
It is, but it's like after the night. This is the next morning.
He's been awake this entire time.
He's been just drinking and singing and having a good time.
Is it the morning sunlight? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We'll take care of this today.
Wotan nods. Very well then. You have your tasks, and by all accounting, just enough time to see them to their completion before the festival. Waste not a day.
Will take it very seriously, just as your hospitality has been taken for me.
You will earn your place as well at Rockloom. As the moon rises, its light will shine upon you truly worthy.
Thank
Chin
you.
up. You've done well. This is your moment. Oh, and when you go to fetch the water, find Barthen. Take him with you. It's his festival as well.
I'm sure everybody's just like,
And he turns and heads out, and Sven just kind of chuckles.
Remember, tapers to the water first. Bartham can be our taper.
What?
Now,
I'm really confused.
I know you have
You're
not
not
always seen eye to eye with my grandson, and he is a handful at the best of times, but this festival is for all of you, and he will not be excluded due to him simply being of another house. He was not the only falcon some years ago of your group.
Yes, grandfather.
Now, ready your things and find Emek. I imagine she is out with the herds.
Thank you.
Good travels and stay safe. And he turns and follows Wotan out of the tent and back into the greater camp.
if we really didn't like him that badly, we wouldn't have saved him from the moose.
Well, of course I would have saved him from the
I
moose.
wouldn't let him.
I mean,
die.
don't get me wrong. The taper goes first to make sure that the mammoths are safe. Bartham did a spectacular job. As much as he does for his talk, his opening is what let us approach the moose safely. Well, you two, really.
Look,
More or less.
I love him. He's my cousin, but it doesn't mean that he's not a pain. Maybe we can teach him how to be nicer.
I don't think that
He seems
that's
rather
possible.
rude.
It's,
If he didn't learn from the moose, I don't think he can learn from us.
look, you don't know what it was like growing up in that house. There's so much pressure on you, and honestly, I think he takes it a little too seriously. I mean, don't get me wrong, leading a house is a really, really big deal, but you can't forget that just because they're mammoth lords doesn't mean that we're not all equal, because we're all important and our lives matter, and sometimes he forgets.
Maybe he just needs some friends. It seems like he doesn't have too many.
He would get more friends if he didn't regard everyone on the side as if they're a rock on the side of the road.
You would all know that Barthen's parents aren't around. None of you would know why or what happened to them. You've never known them. You've only known that for as long as any of you have been alive, Grandfather Sven has basically acted as father to Barthen, which, while he has done his best, he is beholden to the whole of the following, and does not always perhaps had the most time for his grandson.
Does he have daddy issues?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying Barthen has daddy issues.
My cousin has
I'm
lots
heavily
of daddy
implying
issues.
Barthen has daddy.
And mommy issues.
Yeah, he definitely does not really have either. Again, you have no idea
Oh, he has both.
like who his parents are or where they are or what happened with them. It is not unheard of for people to die in the realm. It is a harsh and incredibly unforgiving place. As a matter of fact, Urgula's husband was lost on a hunt just some weeks ago. Just on the cusp of getting to meet his child. It's assumed that Barthen is a similar situation.
My parents won't talk about it. They never did.
Oh, it's none of our business, and we have tasks to do. So
Let's go get the tapers.
Gotta find Emic.
Here's-
Yes, we should find Emic first.
I'm so excited. I
They
haven't
tape
seen her
good.
in forever.
rapiers.
No, they tape. They're tapers.
Rapiers with rapiers.
No, tapers with tape.
Stop, both of you.
Imik is the best. She's one of the only people who can sneak up on me.
Well, that would certainly not. The Imik is the best, perhaps would not be a sentence oft said by adults. Not because of anything, I guess, inherently wrong with her, just that she is about 8 summers old and is kind of caught in the middle of a couple of generations of Broken Tusks. There's the group of you that are about to pass this rite of adulthood to become full-fledged members of the following at the Night of the Green Moon in 3 days. And there are the children that are like 2 and 3 and 4. And Imek is about the only one that's in the middle. For reference, the whole of your following is about 75 members. It's not a terribly massive group, just for concept of size to put it in your heads. So she was exactly at the age where you guys were older and not really in her friend group, and she's a little too old for the toddlers and didn't really have anyone else to hang out with.
We're her Urgula.
Kind of. You're kind of her Urgula.
Kind of.
But this, of course, you know her. This has very much brought her into be like one of the lead shepherds. She is 9 years old, and she is one of the foremost animal handlers and herders of the Broken Tusk. She basically takes the lead on all of that now. She is like a literal prodigy at this. It is amazing. Absolutely nobody can discount how good she is at what she does. She's just kind of a lot as a person.
So you lose all possible social friends of your age group, but you get godlike animal handling?
Yeah.
I'll take that trade.
No friends, animals love me. Let's go. And she would not be difficult to find. She would be out tending to the herds of the group. Small little pigtail down her shoulders and a simple dress, which it would be something common among a lot of your following. You live here. This is the spring side of the migratory path. Although the ground is only kind of starting to thaw, this is not really super cold to you guys. So a lot of the members of your following are not cladded up in a ton of gear and a ton of armor and leathers and hides, and just like, this is the springtime dress of, wow, it got over freezing. It's super nice out here, kind of
Barefoot
thing.
weather.
Like barefoot weather,
Yeah.
and she would absolutely be.
33 degrees.
And the group of you approaching will be quite obvious, and Ivek turns, huge smile on her face and a big wave to the group of you, before turning back around and sort of gesturing off to a pair of boars that she had, sending them trotting off into the distance towards some more of the better thawed ground. Mm-hmm. Oh, hi.
Hello, Imek.
Hi.
Emmy!
What are we all doing?
They found some tapers nearby. We thought we'd go if you could help us come and pick them up and bring them home.
Oh, I love tapers. Tapers are the best. They're so friendly. They know so many things.
And they have noses.
They do. They have the big floppy nose that lets them snoop through the ground. Mm-hmm. And whenever they get hungry, they get through all of the different things that the other animals can't really get to or have to dig for. They can get it into the trees.
Like Verja.
Like Verja?
Yeah.
Does your nose move around like that?
I don't think that applies to me.
You sure?
Tapers are
Push his
really-
face down into the dirt real
So
quick.
you're the ones that Grandfather Sven's sending out to gather them?
Yeah, it's our time. We're gonna be graduating.
Going to
Well, yeah, you're gonna have
is
it's
right.
gonna be the green. It's your green moon. It's
Green
the green moon,
moon.
for
It's
all
our
of you.
green moon.
Well, you guys in Barthian.
Yes,
But-
him
Yes.
too.
He's included.
He's not
this
coming
is
with us
gonna
on
be
the
fun.
taper
This is
fight.
gonna be fun. Okay, come on, let's go. This is gonna be great. I think I don't know how many tapers there are. It doesn't seem like it's a very large herd. And she just kind of starts walking her way out a direction.
Follower.
What do we need to know about tapers?
Oh, well, there's a lot of things about tapers, but I think it's going to be really great for a couple of our boards. That's Roundhoof and that's Wosan. Wosan gets kind of lonely because Roundhoof mostly likes just kind of staying by himself. He's not a huge fan of curling up in the pair. He gets, I don't know, kind of annoyed. He's warm enough by himself, but it makes Wosan sad. I think the tapers are close enough. They're really friendly. They can bond with animals outside of just their own tribe. They're like a cross following. It doesn't have to be other tapers. They can be friends with the boars. Huh. and the group of them can all nest up together under Tusky.
Who's Tusky?
Well, Tusky's and she just sort of gestures back towards one of the mammoths that's some huge distance away. That I would imagine even trained in, you grew up with it, but you'd probably recognize it as a Nutka's mammoth, the leader of Moose House. Tusky, it's Nutka's. He does a weird thing when he's sleeping that he doesn't really, he doesn't sit all the way down. He stays up on his forelegs and rests on his tusks, and he leaves this big thing that Wasan likes to curl up underneath. And she goes.
Nice.
She goes. She has names for every single animal in the herd, which is not super a thing among the following. Like, even the mammoths, even the great mammoths that the mammoth lords have tamed, that they have basically bonded with, they don't like kind of set them with names.
You don't normally name your livestock.
Well, and they're not even. I guess they're more like the mammoths specifically are like they're bonded one to one. Each of the mammoth lords has a mammoth.
Mm-hmm. They're named.
But they're not though. Is the thing.
I named them.
I mean, you could name them and Imek could name them, but it's.
You don't.
I don't know. Almost like disrespectful, as the mammoth is like an equal. It's not their place to put a name on this mammoth. And then beyond that, it's the livestock, and you don't really name the bacon because then it's more sad at breakfast. And we don't want to make breakfast more sad. But Imek has names for absolutely all of these, and all of their interactions, and all of the minutiae of their lives, and
It's adorable and kind of sad.
It's adorable and kind of annoying. Like, it's while you're walking with her, it becomes apparent that this is not like a right down the road kind of situation. This is going to be a little bit of a journey, and trying to actively listen to her through anything beyond like cursory, just let her keep going. Is draining.
Well, actually, Hanwi is really interested and pays a lot of attention because a lot of the times that she does is she spends time looking after children.
Right.
Like, that's just like she does a lot of domestic stuff. And so Imek's kind of ramblings are something that she's like, it might wear on her after like hours and hours and hours, but she probably keeps up a really good face to keep it interesting.
Because it feels kind of sad that she's by herself with the animals a lot, so she just actively pays attention.
By herself with the animals a lot, and it's kind of becomes apparent when given an audience a little bit of why that is. Again, kind of caught between generations. She just, like, it's not even like a conversation. She's just exploding with stories and various just little quirks about all of the animals in this herd. What about you, Virgin, Aram, Ozash, as you're walking? What are you guys doing? Are you listening to the babbling child, or
walking behind the lead group? I can hear them.
You're the distance. I'll be over here.
My mind is somewhere else.
What Ozash does for a fight, Hanwi does in this situation.
Okay.
Tanks the child so they don't have to deal with it.
What is Ozash doing in this situation?
I am standing pretty much next to Hanwi and near the front, and regardless of the ramblings of this child,
not really listening. Just
not really
kind of
listening.
there.
It's just what you call noise I choose to ignore.
Yeah, it's not terribly difficult to tune out.
Besides,
rambling child. It's a skill that goes with anyone who is exposed to children. Aram?
Aram is actually practicing covering their tracks. He's just kind of using this opportunity and just the rhythm of her talking to just kind of practice.
There is no rhythm. It is just all over the place.
He's going to try to focus his concentration in on covering tracks as they're walking, since they're doing it at a kind of rambling pace. It's a good opportunity for him to do it. He might as well try to get something useful out of this afternoon.
That's why the Auryx are weird, though, because they're all like they're got their own individual feelings, obviously. They have different tastes. Longhorn actually won't even eat some of the berries that the rest of the Auryx get super excited about, that we use as treats to try and get them around whenever the herd, or they're being belligerent, or they get kind of into their own thing.
Well, how do you convince him to come then?
That's a long process, actually, and it's kind of interesting. It's a couple of hand signals and words that we've learned, but it's not really Longhorn specifically that goes. Because they operate almost as a whole unit. So if he won't listen, you just have to divert the rest of the herd, and then Longhorn comes along with everything.
How do you do the training with the hand signals?
Oh, the training is super easy. And she's still just going, I need the two of you who have said you were listening, I'm not kidding, and make me a will save.
16.
16.
DC 15. You both actual listed DC in the book.
Will
DC
save
15
characters.
will say to listen to the child.
Amka will occasionally find this child and just talk to her because she's tired of everyone else.
The two of you, are you trained in nature?
Yes.
Yes.
Both of you, throughout this absolute rambling, there is actually a lot of interesting knowledge in here. Like, again, she is extremely good at what she does, and that's being presented by a 9-year-old very excitable child. There's a lot of useful knowledge. How does she get these things going? How do you break these animals in the first place? How do they stop them from running and reverse that to coming towards you? Both of you gain another feat immediately. The two of you learn the tame animal feat. Animals born and raised far from humanoid settlements. This is going to shovel feats at you. If we haven't noticed, we're going to just kind of staple a lot of skill feats to your character sheet.
Does this also apply to if you're trained in nature, you get this?
If you're trained in nature, after going with EMEC, if you want to use a skill feat later to take it, it is an option. You have access to it. These two, for paying attention and listening and passing the will save, get it immediately and for free.
That's fair.
Not worth it.
But you have access to it now.
Not worth it. Hard pass.
Animals born and raised far from humanoid settlements rarely get along with two-legged beings who they assume to be dangerous predators. In spite of this, you know how to approach and entreat a wild animal, so it's more receptive to your presence and requests. This is some degree of similar to kind of wild empathy, a long-term wild empathy. Either of you can attempt to approach a wild animal that is not actively hostile to you and is not confined to an area smaller than its speed. If it's held in place or trapped, you cannot attempt to tame it. It has to be free to do whatever it wants. And then use your nature skill to attempt to form a lasting bond with the animal. This is not wild empathy. This takes an hour to do. It is a long process to make this check.
But wild empathy is quicker.
Wild empathy is a diplomacy
Just make
check,
diplomacy
which is like
checks.
10 minutes.
Gotcha. But you can
usually.
use nature for tame animal.
Yeah.
You can use nature for tame
'Cause,
animal.
Nice.
It is a longer process, but
thing I was great
it
at.
is built. It is meant to be long term. This isn't. Please do not eat me right now. This is please be my friend. You want to come be a herd animal and hang out, and we'll probably eat you later.
Yeah.
But,
That'd be cool. We cool?
We cool. We cool. Cool. We cool. It does take some hours to reach this grove where the herd of tapirs has been found. And as you approach this thickened copse of trees, this wooded grove thickening from the kind of sparse growth that you've been traveling through for a few hours, Emek points up at it. That's it. That's what I said the tapir herds were. So hopefully you can, I hope there's a lot of them in there and they will be good friends for Wasan. But however many there are, Grandfather Spence says it's important that we bring them back as they do a good service as a warning sign for the mammoths, which is sad. But it is better than, well, any of us or the mammoths. He says there's always more tapirs. And, well, in there's more tapirs.
Guess we should go get some then.
Okay. Well, good luck. And she turns around.
But I thought you were gonna.
Oh, I have stuff I have to do back at the herd. I wasn't even supposed to walk you the whole way over here, actually. I just got kind of absorbed in what we were talking about, and I really like talking to you guys and hanging out, and you're cool.
You can help us with the tapers.
No.
I think that's supposed to be our job.
I think it is supposed to be your job. Grandfather Sven could have just sent me or any of the other herders to come do it, but I guess this is part of your green moon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's part of our green moon.
I don't know.
Thank you for showing us here, Emek.
Yeah, of course.
See you later, Emmy.
Yeah, thank you for helping out with the Thoughts on Longhorn. I'm gonna try. I got a couple of things. And even as she's walking away, she's like still rambling, as she's going almost to herself as this small child goes to journey. It's probably like an hour from the camp, a little under, and it's the areas around again where this is the most permanent camp you have. It's safe enough lands that none of you would be worried about a 9-year-old girl making her way back to the. I mean, you can even still see the smoke.
Picks her up.
Megafauna! Yeet!
One of the common deaths for children in the Old West was just walking off through the grass and disappearing.
You can still see the smoke from your bonfire. You could still even see like the shapes of some of the tents in the distance as this section of the tundra is mostly flat out this way. And again, the trees are sparse enough that there's some spaces you can see all the way back from near all the way back where you've come from.
There's no way she can get lost.
Hanwi, I found you some of the first growing sweet smelling herbs of the spring icebreak
Oh,
for
how kind.
for your kit.
Well, thank you. They do smell nice.
Really? They're good?
I think those are poisonous.
They're not poisonous.
No, they're fine.
Let me see.
Well,
Let me see.
Yeah, here. Waft.
Guys, I am good at this. It's what I do.
I don't know. You've made plenty of mistakes before.
That was on
actually
purpose
make
and
a lot
only
of
because it was
mistakes.
Barthen.
So the group of you gathered here at the edge of this thicket, ready to go try to find the taper herd within. I think we should take our break. This is a fine place for that.
Hey, yeah.
Thank you for joining us for the premiere of the Quest of the Frozen Flame, everybody. Nobody died in the moose! Woohoo! I'm so happy.
I still felt it
I
in my
had
chest.
fear. I was like, I look at this, there is no chance nobody goes down,
You
right?
guys-
like,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
You guys
but,
missed
I was
my
surpri-
epic poem.
but
No,
nobody
I read it.
died
Oh god.
to the moose.
No one died to the moose.
I'm
Not even
super-
Bartham.
Not even Barthen died to the moose.
Despite our best
happy.
efforts.
It is a sticker.
Yeah, your Norse
That actually
Foundry
fits.
emblem of protection.
There you
We'll
go.
be back in a couple of minutes. I encourage you to stand up, grab some snacks, get some water, make sure you're staying hydrated, but don't go too far. If you're hanging out, we'll have some highlights from some of our older content for you when we come back. We're going to go find us some tapers.
Tapers.
We're gonna do
Tapers.
taper stuff and maybe tame them. Maybe, not that. Anyway, BRB. Welcome back, everybody. If you want to see any more of those highlights or the campaigns they're from or all of the rest of the stuff that we have done, youtube.com/2perception. Number 2 Perception has got the entire thing and is going to have this tomorrow. Probably assuming that downloading this video from Twitch goes like it's supposed to, which is like 95% of the time. It usually
it'll
works.
totally
It's
work.
pretty consistent, honestly.
Roll the die.
But not entirely consistent, just mostly consistent. As we left off, the group of us were out to do a couple of tasks, let's say, before the Festival of the Green Moon in 3 days, which is going to mark each and every one of us as full-fledged members of the Broken Tusks. Before that, we have to do a few things. The first of which we have decided is find some tapers that are resting in a grove a little under an hour's journey from the Following's main camp. We have made our way to the edge of that grove, and there is no clear and obvious trail through the area. It is a thicket of trees and overgrown frozen wood with not a lot of easily passable space. So finding them is going to be its own concern. Fortunately, the grove is not gigantic, but it is, well, big enough. While we head into the forest here, it's going to probably be wise for at least one of you to be attempting to, track the tapers. But, if no one wants to do it, you just want to wander around the woods for a while. I mean, that's your prerogative. It's a tabletop role-playing game. You can live out your wildest fantasies, like getting lost in the woods for hours. So, Amka, what are you doing as you head to the forest here?
I'm going to actually be seeking
Seeking.
Seeking.
Using your eyes, looking out for something. Verja, so
Tracking.
you vote for team tracking team. And you can have like several people track, that is, or you can even, I guess we can't follow the expert yet, no one's there yet.
No one's an expert. Oh, no.
No one's the expert. Aram.
I will also be on team tracking team.
Okay, you guys looking for tapers, Ozash?
I could use nature for tracking, correct?
It is survival.
survival.
That one is explicitly survival.
Just making sure.
Lore hunting.
Survival.
Ozash is.
This is hunting.
Yeah, but it's you have lore, you have knowledge. This is practical application. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I guess the only thing Ozash can really think about doing, I guess, is using what knowledge he has of, nature in general to just keep an eye out for what he should, what is it?
You could like recall knowledge. You could seek. You could scout. I mean, we got the full gamut of exploration mode things here.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna scout with my shield, just in case something like a moose comes in and tackles us again.
Okay, second moose. Surprise, idiot.
Turns out they are a problem.
Second moose, this time not debuffed. Good luck.
Why is this moose even bigger?
Oh, man. You just so you know, I want to talk about it for a brief moment because it is really cool. All these various things you can do to set up for this moose have direct effects. The imitated cow moose made it flat-footed. And also made it had to use one action to intimidate and demoralize every turn. So it's kind of slowed, because it's not great at the intimidation thing. It rolled decently well. And using the thorns or anything that hurts its hooves made it clumsy one the whole time, but also disables the trample ability, which is probably good, because trample is bad. You generally want to try to avoid, being trampled. It's
By a 2-ton animal.
by a 2-ton giant moose, because trample is really fun because he just runs over a bunch of you, and then you reflex basic save against him just hitting all of you with his feet. So even if you succeed, you still take half. And the DC is 20.
Oh.
So
I have to roll a 16.
probably good that we got the thorns in the hooves. Urgula was... I mean, I stress that as many ways as it's physically possible to do. Do not let the moose charge. Charging moose, bad. No charging moose, please. Anyway... what are you doing, Hanwi?
So we've got two very capable trackers. So Hanwi's going to be thinking about recalling knowledge, trying to think about the tapers in this area and kind of keeping in mind where they'll tend to hunker down to keep, and what type of foods they like, if there's any berries that she sees that looks like it'll go well, things of that nature.
Okay. Why don't we start with you, and you give me your nature check, Hanwi.
You're not going to think about me?
Do some taper-based thinking.
Taper-based thinking.
That's going to be a 17.
With a 17, you would be somewhat familiar with the creatures. They have come and gone through the Broken Tusk herd here continuously, and as you are doing right now, they try to keep at least a couple of them in the herd pretty much at all times because they are a great early warning system. Tapers are large. These are giant tapers. They are big boys.
Oh, okay.
So they are not quite the size of a moose, but they are probably about the size of a horse.
Okay. Wow.
These are like 7 foot tall, 1,200 pound animals. So these are not like little cute and cuddly tapers that you're after. There is no joy and happiness here. This is the realm of the Mammoth Lords. Everything is 9 feet tall and wants to kill you.
Wow.
So
Gotcha.
Megafauna.
the tapers are big lads. That said, tapers are generally relatively calm and peaceable animals. It is not a bull moose.
It's like a capybara.
It's not quite a capybara, but yeah, it's kind of in that general field. Like their usual reaction, if it's not like run away from you, isn't going to be charge you down and start punching you. They are
Big beefy taper.
jacked bicep arms. But they are, of course, this is the realm of the Mammoth Lords. And 8 feet's like the bottom end before the animals come in here.
It's a small megafauna.
It's a
Mice
small
are 3 feet
megafauna.
tall.
The moose are small megafauna. We got mammoths, boy. So with that, you would know that this kind of grove is exactly the sort of place you would frequently find herds of tappers, like snortling through the underbrush, rooting up all kinds of little things that have crawled away and buried themselves in amongst the roots and the berms of the trees. They are largely herbivorous and insectivores. They're not like eating chinchillas or anything, but they're just...
I mean, if a chinchilla happens to be there.
I mean, its mouth is large enough that, if it's in the way, maybe it just gets rooted and snooted, but it's not there for that specifically.
It's protein fruit.
Protein fruit.
Are the insects like as big as your hand?
I don't think there is a lot of those. It's the frozen north. That's the upside, is you don't get gnats in the summer. So you got that going for you, which is nice. All of the animals are 12 feet tall and murdery, but you don't have horseflies.
Mosquitoes.
At least we're not in Mwangi.
Have you seen the clip of a horse?
We're tangenting. So, two of you that are tracking Verja and Aram, does one of you want to assist the other, or do you both want to independently try to search around for a trail? It's a pretty big area, so you can definitely both search independently here.
Got a one-up arm.
All right, fair enough.
We'll have to split up.
All right, survival checks then, lads. Let's go.
What's the second best number?
2?
Yeah. He's conditioning us, by the way.
I have other people saying it now.
So what did you get, Verja?
I got a 6.
What?
I
What did you
didn't say
get,
I was
Aram?
good. I said I was trained.
I got a 20.
Okay. So, yeah, he didn't say good. He said trained. So, Verja is looking around, and boy, there sure are a lot of trees here. How am I supposed to find tracks for anything when so much of the ground is hard-packed root and frozen earth? There's nothing like soft for tracks to be in. This is stupid. I hate this. Aram realizes that in an environment like this, you're not so much looking for tracks as you are signs of passage. Little broken bits of twigs or areas, scat areas where shrubbery has been just bowled through or even launched in the case of some of these tapers. And you're able, after within the first hour anyway, to find a decent track that is almost certainly a couple of tapers. And I mean a couple. It appears to be 2 of them that are off at this side of the grove at the very least. Both of them looking to be relatively young and strong. They're not like babies. They are young adult and average giant tapers.
Hanwi, Amka, I found tracks. You all were talking a lot to Emma. Do you want to see if you can use whatever she...
Oh, yes. We found
seemed
some.
to be talking about something to do with making friends with them. I stopped listening after like the first 5 minutes because I couldn't stand it.
I've got a way with animals. This should be okay.
I know. Oh, yeah, you do. You're really good at it.
He's being weird again.
Huh?
He's always been weird. You know this.
Oh,
He's just being normal.
It's a different type of weird.
What I mean, you guys should do your thing. I mean, I did my thing. I found the animals.
Yeah, no point to... We don't have all day, so we should.
I've never really talked to animals.
Oh, it's easy. Here, I'll show you. And Hawi's just going to kind of move her way up to where the tapir are.
You're at tracks.
Huh?
We're at tracks.
I thought you said 2 young, strong...
But the tracks of 2. Like you can get from this. It's not like herd size. It's not one, and it's not a massive herd.
I heard descriptions, and in my head it painted a picture of what it looked like. So I assumed
although realistically, after following the tracks for a short period of time, you would come to a clearing with 2 tapers in it.
Okay. All right.
As you would have this conversation following the trail, not too long after it would open up, you would see the pair of them exactly as Aram had described, in probably about like a 25-foot clearing amongst the grove, one of many throughout this frozen forest. Both of the tapers will be on the far side of the grove from you. And you can see one of them is up against like the side of a tree, almost punching at it with its forelimbs, like scraping pretty hard on the bark with one of its weird little tiny hooded feet. And the other one is down, like wiping its head like back and forth against a bit of a wet patch in the dirt where it's a bit muddy. It's just like scraping really hard, actually. And you were scouting. Give me your perception check, Anka.
No, I've rolled this die 3 times today, and it's rolled 3s every single time. 10.
Consistency. With a 10, as you look in, there are 2 tapirs in this grove.
Hey, there's 2 tapirs in this
Would
grove.
recall knowledge get me anything about the behavior?
You had succeeded at your recall knowledge. So as you're looking at these, both of them appear to be in pain. There's no visible, like, wounds. They're not bloodied anywhere that you can clearly see, but these are clear signs of tapirs in distress.
Huh.
They're not happy.
They look like they're hurting. Amka, come with me. Maybe some of your healing magic can calm them down.
Does it work on tape? Does it work on tape?
I've seen you heal animals before when some of the hurt animals were injured.
That was traditional medicine, not any blood. We can try.
Yeah,
I think.
it should work, I would imagine, unless Sister Cinder only...
No, she blesses everything. So everything the sunshine is on. It's
As
blessed.
I thought.
Smug Hanwi is my favorite form of Hanwi. As you come out from the underbrush here amongst the trees into the grove, the one that is pawing at the tree notices the group of you and immediately turns towards you and lets out this almost like rattling squeal. And kind of like postures its legs on the ground, sort of spread, skewed a little awkwardly. Its head down, not so much aggressive as clearly defensive.
Hanwi's going to raise her hands and sort of not like I'm really large or big, but it's like I'm non-threatening, and she's not going to look directly at it.
And Amka, this instinctually is going to put her hands up and like make herself smaller. Just try to shrink down. She literally, her legs will bend down where she's as small as she can and still be able to walk.
And Hanwi's going to try to use wild empathy to calm and to let them know that she's not here to harm them and that everything is fine with her presence.
As you come a little closer, you're still probably 10 feet back from these tapirs. You can see that the mud around where they are is a little bit bloodied. So clearly there has been some form of injury. Umka, you would also see back at the edge of the tree line on the far side where they are, at their end of the grove, there are a couple of bands of woven reeds that are attached down to one of the berms of a tree on the ground with a couple of sharp carved spires sticking up from it. Almost like a little spike trap. Part of it appears to be broken.
There's a trap over there. That's what they've injured themselves on. So how close am I to both of them?
You're like 10 feet out.
10 feet out from them. I'm going to do a quick prayer. May your light shine and soothe those in pain. And do a 3-action heal.
Okay.
Healing. It's just heal.
This is heal.
It's just
3-action heal.
3-action
heal.
Just heal.
There's no cure light wounds here. It's just heal.
It's just heal. No soothe. So yeah, that's going to use one of my heals for the day. And just
Okay. And now we'll definitely reach the tapirs. It's only D8.
Sister Cinder guides us with a 4.
And as you have this magic roll out of you, and those you, the other 3 back in the tree line, what are you guys doing?
I am staying at the ready in case any of them decide to attack Hanwei or Anka.
They're pretty large.
Yeah.
They are again much smaller than moose. They're probably like 6-ish feet high at the shoulders. So they're
Big enough.
Yeah, they're big lads.
It's a baby elephant.
Is going to cast Charm on one of them. Target one creature. I read it twice.
Yep, that doesn't say person, and it's not language. It is just emotion, enchantment. It is incapacitation, and they are level 2.
Well,
But
we'll see
this
what happens.
still will saves. It's so you get one of them.
I get one of them. The other one's Charm also, so I could cast it twice if it let me.
Oh yeah, fine. Okay, so
Yeah.
you can definitely just do it twice.
Yeah.
Well then, I will just roll 2 d20s then.
Roll 2 ones.
What is your will DC or spell DC rather?
17.
17. All right, my tapir friend. Ooh, I was gonna say surprisingly low, but it is literally a wild animal, so that's We got a feast and famine, a natural 20 and a 2.
Those are two fantastic numbers.
2 is even going to critically fail, so regular fail, even with the incapacitation, and the other one is going to critically succeed.
Okay, so critical success. Target is unaffected and aware I try to charm it for whatever that means for a wild animal. And failure is target's attitude becomes friendly towards me. If it was friendly, it becomes helpful, and it can't use hostile actions against me.
So the one on the ground that is kind of rolled around and sort of taken, put his back legs down, but he's still sort of like almost down, like bowing, ready to bolt, is fully charmed. And he stands up and then it goes immediately to like a big limp. Seemingly one of his forelegs and one of his hind legs he's trying not to put very much pressure on. The other one is an animal that just had magic cast on it and it doesn't know what that means. Also, it's angry. You have wild empathy. Make me a diplomacy check.
Diplomacy? Okay.
This is like Conway's thing.
19.
With a 19, it is going to let out another one of these like rolling, rattling squeals and sort of almost like do a couple little fake charges. But like you see its left leg flinch every time it does it. But it doesn't charge in yet. It does not turn to hostility.
Amka, can you see if maybe some stronger magic can help that one calm down a bit?
Sure. She's gonna just...
No, they don't look like they're massively injured. They're flinching much like the moose did. And that wasn't like mechanically damaged. That was there are thorns in my feet.
What? I might have something in my bag. Calming. There's some scents out there that calm wild animals. I know that much. Whenever you're trying to deal with an animal in pain, you want to calm them down a little bit. Can I get close enough to try to use a medicine check on one? Just as a... No? Okay.
Not at the moment. Not without some... Well, you got one charmed, one wild empathy do not attack you.
Can I do the charmed one?
You can try to go with the charmed one. As you move up to approach
and it's slow.
The charmed one, well, it just kind of turns its head towards your direction, sort of its weird little trunky thing flicking and snooting out your direction. The other one gets upset and like will physically run up, and when you move up to this, it's gonna rush up and try to bite you.
Okay.
I'm going to take that moment to jump into it.
You are way back here.
Oh, damn.
I was not just coming out of the tree line, but it's gonna snap at you. Oh. It's gonna be a 26.
Okay, crits.
3? Yeah, that crits.
Yeah.
24 points of piercing damage.
Okay, I'm down.
Stabilize.
You see Anka move in, and this other taper freaks out and moves up and just like clamps down its mouth like the size of her freaking torso. Clamps down and like just flings her like a rag doll and just tosses her back.
Oh my god.
And she just tumbles on the dirt here. It doesn't go after her, but it squeals again. Obviously, again, very much upset.
First thing, hold up a hand to the rest of the people in the tree line to not run in here.
Those are just coming.
Definitely got my weapon in my hand.
First cast is going to be to stabilize Anka immediately. And then I'm going to try to keep it. It's not coming after me. I'm going to keep my distance. And I'm just going to try to talk it down. And I'm going to try to use that brand new tame animal feat. Since I've managed to get it to not come after me, is this long term enough that I think I can use the tame animal feat?
You can try to tame animal for sure.
I'll try to tame animal it.
So, what's going on the tree line? You start coming out and you see Tommy put up a hand.
Is much
waiting.
I'm just laying in the dirt.
As much as my instincts tell me to go, I trust Hanwi's decision, unfortunately.
It's not the
big men are coming. Whoa.
I've seen this one get knocked unconscious by a stiff breeze.
It's probably not unfair. Yeah, it's probably not a terribly
like literally like
every megafauna in existence knocks him unconscious.
When the mouth opened, Hanwi was already chanting stabilize.
Oh, here we go again. again.
I'm one of the children that should have probably died really early.
It's just
But
another.
Sister Cinder protected me.
It's just another Thursday.
I'm gonna
Your
use.
life is solid proof of the divine intervention of Sister Cinder and
Blessed.
the Broken Tusks.
I'm gonna use the opportunity of while she's doing that. I'm gonna take all of the thorn stuff out and try to de-thornitize it so that it's not gonna hurt.
That's back behind the tapers. Make me a stealth check because that's getting kind of close. It's not getting in. They could punch you range, but it's like a little. It's on their side of the grove. It's past them.
Okay.
If you want to go back there, it's a stealth check.
If you tell me not to, I'm not going to approach.
Okay.
I'll wait till later, but
It's just like no.
That might look like it hurt a little
Well,
bit.
you're making a stealth check. You're sneaking. Howie doesn't see this unless it's hilariously bad.
Hanoi sees all.
it's going to be a 20.
Yeah, the 20.
I don't see it.
Oh.
Yeah, and they don't either. You sneak up to the backside and find a couple of these traps. There's not just one. There are 2 or 3 of them set up in the tree line here. They are very, very simple snares that are much, again, more like spike pads or spike trips than the strips than they are any kind of like a mechanical snare that activates or does anything. And they're actually very similar to like one of the most common kinds of snares the Broken Tusks would use realistically. Spiky thing is, it turns out, a great hunting tool. But as you get over to these aren't made exactly in the same way that Broken Tusks do. And also the barbs, the spires on this are glistening with what almost looks like dark red, like pomegranate juice. You would recognize it as a poison brewed from a plant that grows much higher up in the mountains to the east. It's not a poison the Broken Tusks bring with them or even use, because your trail doesn't really go that way. While you're over here, make me a survival check.
Okay.
And then we'll get to your taming.
Is this like an herbalism thing? Because
Yeah, I'll give you
I'm a
that.
forger.
I'll give you that.
Poison.
Yep, that's poison.
Poison.
I might lick the poison. It's going to be a 11.
With an 11, looking down at this, you're not sure like how potent it is. Probably don't lick it.
Yeah, I'm
but
not
you're
gonna
not
lick
sure
it,
like
but-
how potent it is or what exactly its effects would be beyond the scent. Really kind of gives away that constituent main ingredient of a plant that is not unheard of. Again, you interact with other followings, you meet them sometimes.
What I will try to do is I'll try to meet Hanwi's gaze.
I mean, I don't know you're there, so.
Yeah, she doesn't see you, and
Yeah.
she's busy with some tapers. So,
Okay.
Hanwi, give me a nature check.
I'd like to cast guidance on myself to get a +1.
How long is what's guidance duration?
Duration is like it's like one. It's like a till my
This
next
is an
action.
hour-long thing, so
Okay,
I don't
so
think
it's
you're
over
able to
the course of
guidance
the
on
hour.
this one. Yeah, the tame animal is an hour-long process.
You
are
nap.
commencing some trails. So you're having a nice nap. I'm just chilling.
It's 15.
The 15, you spend some time trying to tame down these tapers, but they are absolutely, like, really distressed. They're distressed, they're in pain, and even after your best efforts, at some point Amka would actually wake up, because that's a mechanic nothing's ever come up before, that you do just wake up after an hour of being knocked unconscious.
Just sit up and just watching now.
One thing I can try to do is can I treat the wounds in the feet?
Now, without getting to them, and
The one
they're-
that's charmed, will it come over to me?
You can attempt to approach it.
Okay, but
That's a thing you can do.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm stupid. I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on myself
Ah. Okay, do it again.
and then cast Heal on myself.
Pulls herself away here.
Let's do action heal. Try to wake up here.
Wait, 1 health is the same as 20 health for you.
I don't like being low health. I'm back up.
So why'd you make this character?
The health actually is higher than his.
I just don't get bit. I get my arms
Yeah, get
bitten
bit.
off. So
But as you get up, you heal yourself. You throw the sanctuary on. After an hour, Verja and Ozash in the back, you can see this kind of destabilizing. This one taper is just getting more and more irritated. The other one, while it's not hostile, it just seems to be confused. And as Ampuka gets up and starts to heal itself, this taper starts making more and more of these little like mock charges and squealing and grunting every time. And
You were good with
you're
animals.
fairly certain it is about to actually charge. Not like roll initiative, like if you stay here, it's gonna try to fight you.
okay. Maybe we'll back
Back
away.
up a little bit.
We could always just beat it and take it home. We don't have to kill it.
I think they're poisoned.
That'll make it easier.
There's nothing we can do about it right now.
Well, there is.
So they come back in the group, you all reconvene back in the tree line here.
We could see if we can figure out what kind of poison it is. We could see if maybe we can get an antidote for it, and maybe they'll calm down.
Did
Were
you
we-
Did you bring some?
Were you able to
with
get
you
any
over
of
here?
it?
Yeah, I've got the thorns.
Can we
I-
take a look at it and try to figure it out?
Yeah, you guys can give me craft checks. You're in a field
You-
without much.
Okay.
So it's
bit of crap.
it's definitely gonna take you some time.
Can't use any
try
nature to
analyze
try
this.
to figure it out, or
Is it, the constituent, that primary plant is easy. The poison and how you would counteract is
medicine.
kind of a separate thing. It's
Fair
it's
enough.
more than just like, it's not just one plant paste. It is like a brewed poison at this point.
okay. Can guidance help this roll?
Yeah, guns go up this
Okay,
row.
I will guidance. Who's rolling?
I'll roll.
Roll
I'm
guidance.
trained in crafting.
I've already rolled.
So guidance on you.
I'm trained in crafting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that gives me a 13.
11.
With guidance,
With
really?
guidance.
Oh
With
boy.
guidance.
So as you guys look
Moon
at this,
shines dimly.
probably over the course of like 10 minutes and another 10 minutes, the two of you look through this poison. These tapers are still at the far side of the grove. One of them has gone back down to scraping the charmed one, just scraping the side of his head on the ground, still doing that. The angrier one has backed off and is still like looking towards the edge of the clearing where you all are. I mean, you're still there, but the fact that it has not pushed any further, it hasn't chased any further. You backed off, you gave it space. It's not coming after you. Is promising. You could theoretically just try to tame
I
animal
gotta
again. It'd probably be a little
try.
harder.
All
I'll
right.
try a little harder. I'll be awake this time.
So
You
yeah.
can assist.
Yeah, one of us could assist the other. I mean, it only helps.
Okay.
Yeah, I can assist.
It doesn't
you.
only help actually. At level 1, it does not
You're
necessarily
right.
only
Yeah,
help.
actually, you know, what? we
Only
could both. Can we both try to tame a different one, or is it? Both
It's going to
together?
be,
together?
you're trying to tame the tapers. It's one of you can lead, one of you can aid. You can't both lead on this one.
Fair enough.
I'll
I'm
lead.
fine if you want to. You want to take the point on this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one. You filled the last
I'll-
one.
All right, so
I'll-
give me
I'll
Hanwi's aid, then roll your thing in the dice tree over there. We'll wait a second so we get the
Hanwi's assist is going to be a 12.
12 doesn't make it worse, but doesn't help. And as Amka heads back out again,
You didn't roll a 3
I'll roll then 11.
okay.
No, that's total.
total. It's a 4.
We're really good at this.
You can
right, we're
always
gonna
try
take-
again after you wake up in another hour.
We're gonna.
With another hour of attempting to work
We
on
just learned how to
the
do this. We got
tapers here. Yeah, you did just get all of this.
So
all
is this the
news
hand
from-
signals for the auroch that we need to use, or is it the squealy noise that the boars use?
Do you have like?
You're kind of
Snacks?
forced back into the tree line again to retreat.
Yeah.
What do they like to eat?
Tapers?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they typically go root for mushrooms or roots or edible plants
I'm not good
or.
at finding those.
I
Maybe we
could try
offer
to
them
find those.
treats,
I'm not
yeah.
bad at it.
We could see if we could gather some food for
Just
it.
keep an eye on them. Maybe eat something ourselves. I mean, we're here.
I've been munching.
You could certainly spend an hour attempting to use basically survival to a modified version of subsist to rather than to feed yourself to find things tapers would like to, you know. We're not making a ton of progress here. This is harder than we thought it was going to be. Why is this harder than the moose?
I'm a forager.
Okay, what does that do? It makes you go faster, right?
No, it just makes me able to do it for more people, and if I can't roll less than a success.
While using survival to subsist, if you roll any result worse than a success, you get a success. On a success, you can provide subsistence living for yourself and 4 additional
Okay, so you
creatures.
could just take an hour if you're
That's-
guaranteed to succeed because you can't even critically fail.
Yeah.
Then you can just take an hour going and gathering some things. This is, again,
That's-
something you're familiar with. You can do this. What are the rest of you?
I also have that.
Oh, you can both do that. All right, fair enough.
I'm eating berries.
We
I mean,
train
that's going to be
together.
enough food for like the tapers, probably. So
This is a big
Don't even need to
tapers.
roll.
big tapers.
Don't even need to roll.
Critical success.
That's,
That's
true. You
true.
get critical
Yeah, might as
successes.
well roll. Might crit. You might
Might
crit.
as well.
Crit happens.
No, but I succeed.
No,
Move
but
that,
actually,
move
yes.
that cursed
That's good
rock.
luck.
I do not fail.
No, but actually, yes.
Foragers are really nice.
Secret, we just take feats that make us not able to fail, and then we'll succeed.
You said it was going to be important to survive.
No, it
and
is. It is.
subsist.
You spend an hour, the two of you, going around looking through some of these things. What are the other 3 of you doing while they're
Berries.
More
Eating.
berries.
You just
I'm
eating?
snacking. I don't know what time it is.
Ozash is also here.
Pretty much. I am just nodding as I chew on my rations of jerky. You know,
Salt.
this is why I have to keep a watch of you. You always get yourself into trouble with large, scary-looking things.
Everything.
Yeah, they're ignoring us. It's a lot of trouble, honestly.
And a lot of things are bigger than me and Hanwei.
He just starts digging into his bag.
Most people in the Broken Cusp are bigger than me,
Eat your
actually.
turkey. Eat,
So
just-
tough.
just- don't complain. It is the same stuff that Sven gave me.
Virgia,
You
I'm,
soak
Ben
it
needs
in
to
water.
smoke it longer.
I want you to know that I did win. I found them first.
Do we need to mark that one down?
Berries.
No, I found the tapers. And these berries.
All
I
right.
killed a moose, and you think finding the taper is equivalent.
I kind of helped.
Did you kill it?
No. You win.
You got that one in the back pocket for like weeks. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be hard to top. You're just like, you're in there. You're like, I killed the moose, so shut up. Go do the dishes. Like, the 2 of you come back to the group still just sitting in the tree line. The pair of tapers still just to the far side of the clearing.
This is the action that we all came for.
This is Pathfinder. This is it right here. It's several hours of failing to tame animals. This is Pathfinder.
This is level
To be
1.
fair, only one of us is actually like
This
an
is-
animal person.
supremely level 1. With a handful of some little bits of mushroom and like fungal root that have grown in and amongst the trees. A couple of handfuls of little sprigs of berries. You got some like, taper chow. And maybe, just maybe, it'll do anything.
Hey, you want to assist this time?
I'll assist this time.
So you
I assist.
You
this time.
2 head back out into the middle of the clearing. The other 3 just standing back at the eastern side,
First thing,
waiting.
put the food down and
Get
let
some
them
food.
see it.
Yeah.
And we back up and let them see the food.
After about, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing that's so wrong?
I'm a double.
Smells of brimstone.
Hello, I'm Satan.
Have you ever tried to talk to someone while you smell like sulfur?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Off-putting.
I mean, I suppose that's
That
fair. What are you doing? Trying to assess where the problem is.
Yeah, trying to assess where the problem is. It seems that it seems like the poison has maybe gotten into their feet and it's just really making them feel really kind of maybe sick and irritated. Maybe some. Maybe while they're getting taper chow, Hanwi is going to try to. I don't have anything big enough to carry enough water for tapers to care about. So waters isn't going to really worry at it. But I mean, I guess what Hani will try to do is maybe it's just maybe the food will help. So she'll wait for them to eat. And if she can kind of demonstrate, look, we brought you food. This is what you like. Maybe that will kind of get them to come around.
I fed you. Come home and let me throw you into the river.
And let me feed you more.
After about 20 minutes of you, what were we going to say?
Well, what I was going to say is I may not know what the poison is, but as an herbalist, surely I understand what an anesthetic is. If I can get something on their feet that will at least numb out the pain.
Would you like to approach the tapers and attempt to put things on their
That's what I
feet?
was trying to do.
You are free to attempt to approach the tapers and put things on their feet.
There's an easy way to do this.
All right.
Put it all over your body.
And then just let them kick you.
Maybe if this food thing doesn't work, I'm sneaking up on them and I'm going to give it a go.
We gotta make this work. I don't want arms.
We gotta
Sure.
get this worker arms dead. All right.
It wasn't the moose we had to worry about. As you are working like 20 minutes or so into this, you've got the really skittish one to take some of these mushrooms and to eat some of this food. Not like from your hand or anything,
Yeah.
but like from a distance as you've backed off. And this seems to be coming across like you're making some amount of progress. I imagine Aram is in the bushes thinking about trying to put booties on tapers. Verge is probably falling asleep. And Ozash is also there. Disappointment evident in his eyes.
At this point, I don't even have my shield out. I'm just watching in disappointment. I'm just like,
Just saying that
I'm
it's
just gonna-
pressed.
I'm waiting for it. I am waiting. For
You hear a call from the small little bit of almost the path on the southern end of the clearing that you had followed around to lead you here as you saw these tapers. You hear a call out, "Hey!" And you turn and you see two figures. Two women dressed up in heavy, almost like charred furs. Not a lot of them, but extremely thick ones where they are, with a brace of spears, each across their back, and each of them with spears in hand. Their faces are both marred across by what looks like a huge, jagged burn scar, going from one temple to the opposite jaw. You don't recognize either of them. But as they call out, and the taper kind of spooks a little bit, and all of you sort of look over there. A grin comes across the face of the woman in front. Ha ha! A better hunt than expected! As they rush forward with
Wait,
their
who are you?
spears. I'm gonna need you guys to roll me some initiative.
Why are you people like this?
I was better prepared than that than I expected.
They kind of announced their presence before they went in.
We're also on edge from taper attacks, so we're like,
We get like a +7 to this, right?
This side, Hanwi.
Hanwi has a 21.
21. Hanwi's super ready. Ozash?
11.
The man is asleep. The man is actually just. I need to I cut this one
Is
too
he
tiny.
still scouting or is he just asleep?
He's a scouting.
Yeah. So
Okay, then 12.
Unless you're literally not. If you're not scouting, you're not scouting.
I mean-
like,
I mean, 22 if he's scouting.
here are two angry hunter tokens in the opening of the clearing here. Amka,
Oh, if he's scouting, 21.
who wants to go first?
Hanwi is faster.
Yeah.
You about 21, weren't you?
I didn't count scouting.
Oh, fair enough. Verja,
9. I was falling asleep.
asleep in the trees. Aram,
20, because I was watching Hanwi.
Why do you stalk her so much?
so we have.
I think
He's just a really good friend.
we would be.
You guys are, on the eastern side of the grove. These two hunters have appeared at this little trailhead to the south where you came around.
Probably back here.
We'd be in the opening.
And I would imagine you're watching Hanwi and you're babysitting
Hunters
small child.
both
Yep.
rolled exactly 15, so they're both going to be right in there. And the tapers, who are also here,
Oh boy.
got a 21.
Do we have tapers?
I have tapers. They're bears, but you can pretend they're tapers.
I don't,
say-
want the
I don't have
Oh.
a bestiary, what is it,
It's called
3?
bears.
Damn.
Oh, these are actually a new creature from literally this adventure. So yeah, they don't
They
have
haven't
a taper
statted
token.
tapirs before this.
Come
event.
on.
They did not. Giant
What's
tapers
wrong?
were added by this book.
You gotta be
It's not even a
kidding me,
bestiary
man.
thing.
That's weird.
Where's the second giant tapir?
Just kind of behind the other one. They're just sort of more closer to the tree line.
I was about to say.
Hanwi, you are the first reactor. You have no idea who these people are. You interact with some other followings occasionally. Your migratory path takes you past some. There are followings with which you trade or with which you're friendly. You meet up for events sometimes. You know, you've got like Thursday trivia night.
Which we always win.
You don't recognize these two. These like horrible burns across their faces are incredibly distinctive. Looking at first, just like a red stripe of paint almost encountered to yours, till you realize that it's like bulbous and warped and scarred. The more you look at them, it looks like there are more of these burns kind of across their legs, across their torso. They have these huge strips of like boiled and charred flesh, their own, that they seem to be proudly displaying.
Ew. I like our introductory.
It's not. I mean, like, it's not unheard of, even amongst the Broken Tusks, to have things like this, to have like intentional scarring that is used as like a
free
part of
source
your
of infection?
appearance. But not like this.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Varja, Aram, Ozash, and Hanu's going to run behind them.
No.
None of that. Light of the moon be with us. Aram is going to have guidance, and Ozash is going to have guidance.
All right, and as you place these two blessings, the tapers, well, not really going to be tamed right this exact moment. They are pretty upset, but they don't know what exactly they're doing, and all of this shouting and this clear charge actually causes this front taper that you've been working with, even though he is much larger, to like shy back a little bit. They do not immediately show any signs of wanting to be engaged. In fact, they are retreating. They spooked. Amka.
I'm assuming I can't convince y'all to just leave, right? I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna run back here and touch this man's weapon,
Nice.
and pull out some ash and just swipe on it. It's like, Sister Cinder will guide your strikes, and cast magic weapon on it.
Oh boy.
Who's ready to watch people get deleted?
Please protect me.
Okie dokie, Aram.
Aram is gonna move so that he's between them and the tapers a little bit more.
I like that.
Yeah.
Down to kind of the front here. Move up to where Amka and Hanwi just fell back from.
Yeah. And he'll look at them and he'll say, "We're not eager to get into a life or death battle with you. We have to bring these back alive. Is there any way you could just leave the clearing and that way we don't have to skewer you through it full of arrows? Is that like an option?"
Please go home.
And then he's going to fire an arrow at one of their feet to make it very clear that he could have hit them if he wanted to, but that he is not going to just skewer one of them through for showing up in a clearing.
Okay. Is that you?
Yep. I'm not just going to start killing people for no reason.
They called me
They
a
are.
hunt.
She, the front one here, rushes forward about 10 feet, hoisting this spear up overhand as she does. Ha! The Broken Tusk, just roll over and die! And throws it straight at Aram. It's going to be a 25 to hit.
That's a normal hit.
Yeah, what a crit.
Not a crit.
And spear catches you for 4 points of piercing damage. It's like a little javelin here. And then as she throws it, she reaches back and pulls another one out of the brace she has on her back.
That's how you want it.
The other one of the hunters in the back holds the spear up overhead two-handed, letting out just a wordless war cry before just sprinting forward. Not at Aram, but at whoever is the next closest, which looks like it is...
It's equal distance between the two of us, really.
Yeah.
Then the one who's closest to the clearing would probably be Ozash.
Ozash.
And these are also short spears. And rushes in trying to convert this momentum from running forward and just do a big two-handed thrust snarl across her face as he tries to just run Ozash through. For an 18.
That is an exact hit.
And unable to get the drop on you here, unable to get your shield up, you're realizing what the heck's going on. You are also going to take 5 points of piercing damage
5? Okay.
as she rushes in and kind of catches you. Doesn't like not running you through really, but I mean catches you.
It's at least
punches
inside.
the wind out of you.
Oh.
It's in spearing.
Ha.
This is why Hunley will never.
Ozash, it is now the turn of yours.
Oh, you want to play like that, I see. Well, I guess it's time to give you the cold shoulder. Each tray.
Does he have puns for all of his spell strikes?
Maybe.
Why no one likes you.
Why wouldn't he have puns for all of his spell strikes?
Fair enough, I
He
suppose.
raises his axe, and you see frost emitting off the blade, and he's spell striking Ray of Frost. And a +1, thanks to guidance.
You guided.
Oh, it's crit
That
time.
is a natural 20.
Yeah, it looks like I see it. I see the
so
two perception logo.
This person is gone.
So your
It's
axe
crit
crits and also your Ray of Frost crits.
Yup.
It's crit o'clock.
Critical.
And for what it matters, that inflicts
Oh,
a 10-foot
baby.
speed bonus.
So that's 6
I think it's going to
times
infect the
2,
25 foot.
12. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the plus. Yep, 12. 12 slashy and frosty damage, and
There's no way.
You get +4.
+4.
You get
Okay,
your
so-
strength.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
there's
right.
absolutely
Sorry.
no chance 12
Sorry,
is the total
sorry.
damage.
It's 20. My
Everything
bad. My
there,
bad.
plus strength and
20.
intelligence, then
So
double.
20 points of combined slashing and
Sorry, guys.
frost damage as you hit
22. I'm sorry.
22 points. This axe just absolutely obliterates this woman. Her own momentum from running forward just fully halted.
As the axe just kind of slices through her, it like freezes her as it cuts, and it just crumbles.
It just buries into her and drops a frozen corpse on the ground. She is just gone instantly.
And then I just look at the other one. You want to?
What
be
the hell?
You want to be next? And raise my shield.
You want to be next? Hide behind you.
Verja.
My turn. Rush forward.
Oh, great, he's
Baseball
a
bat.
psychopath.
Permission
Who's
to
the serial
bonk.
killer now?
I mean,
No.
So that's going to be 22.
22 definitely is.
Yeah. Do you get the item bonus too?
23. Because magic weapon.
Oh my god. Well, feast and famine.
And that's a 7.
Oh, that's a 7.
So 24. My
What happens?
hit her across the chest, knock her back to where we first saw her.
Yeah, man.
there's like a hole in her chest now.
Yeah,
Apparently.
absolutely. This massive blow bats her all the way back the 10 feet that she had advanced, just launching her back to the trailhead. And in a literal instant,
I guess.
ah, magic weapon! You beautiful, beautiful spell, you.
Ozash walks up to Verja. Ah, brother. That was a good one. Gives him a big old manly hug.
Nasty,
Very impressed with you
brutish
today.
shorts.
I guess we weren't gonna talk.
Don't think
That's-
there's anything good
It
about
didn't
this.
look like it.
They threw a spear at you, Aram.
I know. I just, you know me. I don't like hurting people if I don't have to. It's why I never would have done well in Falcon.
I think we definitely had to in this case.
I agree.
They did call us prey, so
Did we scare the tapers?
Oh, the tapers.
The tapers are definitely have like dashed back out of the clearing. And I mean, they're pretty large and can't make their way through the thicket incredibly effectively, but you can hear them romping away some like 30, 40 feet back in the tree line. If you go now, you could chase after them. Otherwise, it would just be tracking them once more.
Well, they're leaving quite a trail. We can follow them later. These people, I've never seen them before. Hanami's going to look through their things. Maybe they have more of this poison that will help us identify an antidote, or maybe they have something like that.
Their things are not a ton. Each of them has this very simple fur and leather cladding, a coil of rope at the small of their back belted, with a small pouch with 20 kind of like thumb-sized, heavy, pointed rocks, and just a simple leather sling wrapped around that. Each of them had the 3 spears, with 1 in hand, 2 in the brace, as well as with those bullets a set of small tinder twigs, which are non-magical, and I imagine everyone would recognize. It's not like we don't have tinder twigs in the realm of the Mammoth Lords.
Better than flint and steel. I'll take those.
Yeah.
We'll take them. Supplies are supplies.
One of them does have tucked into her belt a small, well, not really small, but weird trinket. It is a feather, maybe about 10, 12 inches long, very thickly plumed, with a bright, almost like peacock green, but no eye at the far end. The quill of the feather, as well as the lower bits of whatever the feathering itself is called, appear to have been dipped and solidified in liquid gold. And the whole of the feather itself is almost rigid. It doesn't like wave, or it's not soft. It can't easily be brushed around. It's just an odd trinket.
We can look at that later, I suppose. Well, the taper, I suppose.
I want to do a quick prayer over the bodies, too. It's kind of, I mean, they attacked us, but at the same time, it feels bad, I guess.
But
as you can look at them much closer now, these scars across their face are extremely vibrant. They look as if they had just been freshly burned, as if it was a brand that never cooled. You can tell that even looking at it, one of them was literally blind in one eye. Her eye had just been completely ruined by this horrible scar that rips across her face. And if anyone wants to make a medicine check looking over them, you can.
We'll do that.
Trained only?
No, you can do it untrained. This is untrained. This is pretty simple.
I got a 6.
I got an 11. I got a +7 medicine.
Well, both of you can...
I got the highest.
What'd you get?
I got a 12.
Both of you can tell that these burn scars aren't just one splotch. They're intended to be like 3 swipes, almost like a claw drawn across their face, and were almost definitely applied intentionally. And you can also tell that they remain so bright because whatever burnt them, it doesn't look like it was just they rubbed hot coals on their face. There was literally red dye mixed into whatever seared their flesh that makes it continue looking bright and raw, basically forever.
Can I attempt a religion check for any like traditions locally that we might have heard about or seen that are even similar to that?
You would, you would know that this kind of like scarification and branding isn't like totally unheard of. There's not any for religious use that you are aware of.
Okay.
And even some of the Broken Tusks have a little bit. But like this is awful. This is so bad. One of them is blind in one eye.
Yeah.
Like this is not.
It seems zealous. It seems incredibly zealous. Okay,
it definitely
cool.
seems like something that has.
Well,
maybe Grandfather Swen will know something about it when we get back.
That's a lot of questions. But either way, Papiers.
Let's try to focus on this. Let me see if maybe following their tracks, maybe we'll be able to find another small grouping of them. They might lead us back to some place where they might congregate. They'll look for water as it gets later in the day. I'm going to try to follow this, but also try to find a source of water to see if I can find a larger grouping of them.
Okay. So I guess give me your survival checks once again, Verja and Aram, to attempt to follow after some time for you to follow the tracks once more of these giant tapirs. These giant tapirs, the greatest challenge we've been confronted with.
It's my
Two
turn.
raving barbarians show up. We literally just backhand both of them in one turn, and we're like, damn tapirs though.
21.
21 would allow you to easily follow where they have kind of smashed their way through the undergrowth here, escaping in almost a blind fear, running away from this. They're still injured and they can't move particularly quickly, and it's not really much time at all before you find where one of them has just like plopped almost just full sprawl down just in between two trees, as Aram had said, near a very small brook that's kind of running through this, as the other one is standing there drinking. And as you see them, they see you.
And once again,
Hi, guys.
hello, friend.
We're
Hello,
the persistence hunters.
But it seems like the one drinking, one flopped, and they've given up on life or whatever it is. Neither of them immediately make any move to escape you. They just continue laying on the floor or drinking.
We're going to try this again.
Let's try it again. I think I was leading this time.
Hello, Tapir, my old friend.
You still got some amount of the treats you were able to scavenge, which will give you a +1 to both to your aid and to your regular check.
Okay.
So your aid,
That's a 17 on the die.
you get a +2. So 1 from the treats and 1 from the aid.
Okay.
Or we could just make that die.
About to pursuit predate these
Oh, that's not
freaking
bad.
tapers.
That's good.
Nice. That's a 22.
We did it.
We did it!
We overcame the tapers.
It only took like what?
Paper friend.
It only took like 4 hours
And 2 murders.
and 2 murders.
4
We would have
hours to
spent
2
the last
murders later.
45 IRL minutes doing this if we had
2 justifiable self-defenses. Thank you.
They
Now it's
attacked
justifiable
first.
self-defense.
They're coming right for us.
See,
These
I wouldn't have attacked if you hit me.
2 tapers
Crit spell strike.
do seem to be largely like out of energy here. They have run themselves ragged. The poison from these barbs is causing them a great deal of pain. They're not able to get away terribly effectively. They only really went like 100 yards. They didn't get very far. And after like an hour of kind of slowly working towards this, the tapers allow you to approach. You get close enough, hands up, you could reach out and touch the biggest piggus.
I hate you.
They're
Either
not
of
as
your
soft as you think they
choice.
would be.
They're not. They're pretty sturdy, kind of rubbery. They're like tiny elephants.
They're about as snatus.
Adorable, though. All right.
As you approach, which one are you going for? What are you doing?
Probably the one that's splayed out. It's going to be easier to treat their feet.
Flat pig.
Flat pig will be easier.
Flat pig is just sprawled out on the ground here being flat pig. He just sort of looks at you and like moves his foot up, his little snoot just kind of wiggling on his forearm. And you can see one of the wooden spikes broken off from this trap, embedded like deep
All right.
in
Poor
his
baby.
paw.
Well, then.
So Hanwi's going to dip her fingers into the mud by the riverbank, and it's going to kind of turn into this light tan plaster that she's going to use. This is called healing plaster, and it makes it. I have healing tools now out
Okay.
of mud,
Oh, cool.
Power of mud.
and I also have natural medicine, so I'm
Same.
going to try to use that. And do we have access to fresh ingredients? Because
Yes.
Arm
Yes,
did just
we
give me
do.
They
fresh
definitely
herbs.
would have access to fresh ingredients, I would say for sure.
Cool.
So
There's nothing but.
healing them is one thing, but the problem is that this spine is embedded so deeply in the pads of this taper's foot that before you can really do much of anything, it's gonna need to come out. And removing it is more a matter of precision, perhaps, than like medical knowledge. Like thievery would definitely work here, honestly. Survival or even like nature to understand how to like calm this taper while you do it is going to be more useful than like actual practical medicine skill
Okay.
here, because you have a wild animal that you're trying to extract a 4-inch spike out of.
So survival would be fine. I can do
Survival would be great.
And
I would let you use your healing plaster herbalist fresh herb thing with the survival because it
Okay.
is still definitely going to help you here.
So natural medicine would work with the bonus with natural medicine?
You natural medicine with survival anyway, don't you?
Huh?
Don't
No,
you,
you do
you
natural medicine with
No,
with
no, no.
nature.
Natural medicine is a skill feat that lets you use nature to treat wounds.
'Cause you can use nature for this. Because
Okay.
calming the taper is as important as getting the thing out.
Okay. Do I get natural medicine bonus? Because that's
I would
the
give you
fresh
natural
ingredients.
medicine bonus
Okay.
for the
yeah,
fresh
then I'll
ingredients. I'm
definitely use
trying to
natural
get
medicine.
this out.
And last question, I promise. Can I cast guidance on myself? Because this is kind of a get the thing out.
This
Actually-
is short enough. I'll let you guys. Oh,
Awesome.
I was gonna say I am trained in nature. I could assist.
I can assist as well. I think we're all trained.
I think we're all
but
trained in nature.
Yeah.
Trained in medicine.
There are 2 tapers.
Yep.
There are 2 tapers.
Do they both have thorny toes?
They both have thorny
Yeah.
toes.
Okay,
That's
I'm
why
gonna
they're
do the
sad.
natural medicine thing on the other
I'll
taper.
help Hanwi.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I will help.
why don't you just watch because I have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just moral support.
Also, the bonuses don't stack. So
Yeah.
I will
Taperness isn't gonna
hold
feel good.
the other taper down while Amka pulls the thorn out.
Yes. That way it doesn't bite me.
I'll wrestle.
We'll wrestle it.
All right.
Okay, well, I guess we'll start with Hanwi.
Okay.
So just give me your nature check.
So nature is normally a +7. Natural ingredient gets me +2, which goes to +9, and guidance makes this a +10.
Guidance is not circumstance.
Guidance is status.
Guidance is
Ooh,
status.
Neat. Okay.
It's yummy.
21.
The 21, with almost like a quick motion. This snare, as you see from the trap, it is not just a raw spike. It is barbed. But buried in the path of foot as it is, you're able almost to, like in a single twist, slide it out without tearing the taper's foot any further. You were gonna
Assist.
if you guys are both like physically aiding, I would let you both nature aid Amka here, Ozash and Verja, because it's like a hold down pig.
Yeah.
It's a very large pig.
I get the same bonus as he does. except for
Biggest,
the guidance.
biggest.
Roll the dice.
I know.
I didn't make it worse. I don't think.
I just want to use it too.
23.
Okay. You don't get anything, but you have moral support.
Yeah, that's all I
Because
need.
You have a
because I'm very
circumstance bonus
nervous.
suppression gradients.
And I'm gonna roll over here. Maybe
It's an 11 on the die. That's nice.
unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Okay, so you just about as well as Verja knows as you're holding this taper down, managed to get a pair of these.
Like looking into the taper's eyes, and I just kind of suddenly look away to divert its attention, and just rip it out when it looks away.
And you hear it squeal, and it jumps up, throwing Ozash and Verja off. And like just kind of jumps and bucks around a little bit. Like touching its feet and almost just like patting the ground. And then it turns, backs up,
Bite you.
and charges.
Fine.
Amka.
This is fine.
As you two
Aram is trying so hard not to
Large
lose
men.
it.
go in the way, it charges up and knocks Amka over. Just with its forehead. Not so much slamming Amka, but like pushing her down to the ground and just like nuzzling.
Oh,
her body.
yickings.
Like I said, they're very,
false
very
alarm.
cute.
He's a very happy lad.
I'd be very happy too.
Look at those boys.
The other one that is plopped on the ground, like it obviously jerks as you pull the thing out and kind of like pulls itself up and does like really tiny, like almost kind of comical steps. And it just sort of looks at you confused.
What happened?
But it seems that you have made some little taper friends here.
Yay.
Why don't you two come back
We
with
did
us?
it. It only took 1,000 years.
Oh my god.
Now we get to name them.
It's really, really safe.
I would like to go back to the fight that happened. That was, oh, we're dealing with tapers, dead. Oh, we're dealing with
Bam!
Normally,
Anyway,
the combats take 45 minutes,
Yeah.
and the skill checks take almost no time.
It also helps when you crit things.
or when you crit.
Really, Spell Strike is magic weapon.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
Spell Strike
It
is
does make
pretty,
it magic.
Spell Strike do be slapping pretty hard. Magus crits, they bonk pretty good. Critting two thing is
Yeah,
two
I
thing.
mistook the math and I was like, oh wow, this is way better than I thought.
Yeah, Magus blows stuff up. It's pretty angry. But these new tapers do seem like they are very much willing to follow with you. That's after they seem to have realized they may not fully understand exactly what's happened, but they let you come up and now their feet don't hurt no more. So
We've been trying to do this the entire
we've been
time.
trying to do this for 4 hours.
And we have food for them.
And they have food. You have some very happy little taper boys.
Happy big tapers.
Very happy big taper boys. Unless there is something else you would want to stay for,
Nope.
the group of you could then fairly easily lead your new excited elephant friends.
Maybe if we stick around, more random barbarians will show up.
You just blow them up too and move on with your life. Back out of the grove and towards the camp.
Step 1. Amka and Hanwi shriek in terror and run behind you guys. They charge in confidently, and then everyone else just murders them.
Pretty
It's
much.
perfect.
This is called the bait and switch.
Disguise.
It's absolutely the bait and switch.
No, it's not disguised at all. We're generally terrified.
Hanwi,
I died to a tapir.
I got a little bit of a spear scratch. I didn't want to waste magic on it at the time, but would you
Hold
mind?
on. Not at all.
I can take
No,
it.
Hanwi.
Well, if you want to.
No. I'd
I got
really rather you. No, I
No,
will
this will
beat
be
you. You big lug.
What's wrong? I can take care of it.
I'm gonna bite you.
Meanwhile, the Arm and Verges show, we are humans. The group of you, I imagine you could use some small amount of healing if you wanted to, but you would have no trouble. A 9-year-old girl could easily make the walk back to camp with this grove.
A 9-year-old girl could easily tame 2 tapirs.
Yeah, that's good. Emek would have done this in 30 minutes. I don't know what took you guys
She would have
so
walked
long.
up and they would have been friends immediately.
And that would absolutely be the question as you approach the camp. And I mean, you 2 tapers are pretty obvious. Emek would actually rush over to meet you at the edge of the camp, a giant smile on her face, looking at these 2 biggest piggus.
This one's blue.
And she walks up, one of them kind of like daggers away a little bit, and the other one just takes his big old snout and just pokes her in the face with it, snooting. And she's like, "Oh, I love him! What took so long?"
Oh,
We're really
Are
bad
you okay?
we ran into some interference.
Yeah, we got attacked by some people in the
And-
forest. You probably shouldn't go in there alone until we figure out what's going on.
It's very dangerous. And it turns out putting to practice what you told us was very, very hard. We
It
tried
only
like
took-
4 times.
we
Well,
got
there's
it
only-
eventually.
Were there only 2 tapers? You were gone for like 4 hours? I thought you were going to have a whole herd. I thought you'd come back with like 20 of them.
Oh, one of them bit me.
Well, they were
Yeah,
did I
Amka
you?
almost died.
they were also poisoned.
They're poisoned.
They were traps.
And she looks down. She's like, "Oh, I can see from his step they had something stubbed into their pads."
What was this?
Well, it looks kind of like our hunting snares, but it's not our hunting snares.
No, there was poison on it. Here, I kept some of the.
Well, I don't want it. I don't know.
No,
what
I'm not
going to
give it to you. I'm just saying I
To the
kept.
child.
We should talk to Grandfather
Here,
Smith.
child, would you like this poison?
You're so competent with animals, you could probably be trusted with poisonous barbs.
Oh, you should probably take it to Urgula. She was trying to find you. I think she was. Oh, I don't think these were our snares. She was trying to find you for something about snares, though. She wanted to help with the tapers, but you were already gone.
Ah, there it is. Anyways, we can entrust the tapers to you.
Oh, of course, yeah, I love them.
All right,
Oh,
you got
they're
some
so
new friends.
Wiggly. This one's nose is so wiggly. And she's still just like snooting across her face and everything, and she is like a 9-year-old girl and is about this high. Very excited.
That one likes a nuzzle.
Oh, they both like the nuzzle. They're so friendly. I love tapers. Leaving the group of you to take your exit while you have the opportunity and the child is distracted. Head into camp.
Bought the child 2 new puppies.
2 new
Sacrificial puppies.
7-foot-tall giant elephant puppies with snoots. Heading back into camp, if you were to look for Urgula, she would be a little off to the side past the bonfire, off next to the, kind of in between the otter and the muskox tents. where she has a large assortment of bits of woven reeds and cords and small sharp bits of things and a few little sprigs and flowers of various plants. And she looks over to the group of you. Emek told me I missed you. But
Is our new cousin here yet? Nope. I see he or she has not made their appearance yet.
Valuable
puts her
observation.
hands on her stomach. No, not so yet. Maybe if Sister Cinder sees right to it, we'll be blessed with her birth on the night of the Green Moon.
That's what I'm hoping.
I don't put too much stock in it myself necessarily, but it would certainly be an omen. If the gods wish to shine it upon us, so they do. I'd hoped to find you before you left because I knew what you were going for. I heard from Sven that you were going to go find a herd of tapirs, and I'd hoped to help you with snare crafting. Regardless, it is a useful skill. These traps are a powerful tool in a scout's arsenal.
I love snares. You've taught me a couple, but not as many as I hope to learn from you.
Well, we can all work together on putting something together then.
Are you forgetting something?
Well, I was looking for a break in the conversation, but while we were out in the woods, 2 hunters that I've never seen before came and attacked us. They had terrible burns over their faces and bodies, and seemed to know of the Broken Tusks and not like us very much.
I would say hate.
We were supposed to take Barthen.
No, we were supposed to take
Barthen comes to get the water.
Just the water?
Just the water.
Imagine coming back like, we were supposed to bring Barth in. Dang it, I knew we were forgetting something. Man, well, it's too late now.
He can only be trusted to carry water. That's all we can trust him to do anyways.
That's fair.
I don't know. There aren't really any other followings that travel out towards Rockloom. It is...
They seemed very distinctive. Perhaps Grandfather Sven would be able to recognize their markings. He's been around a very long time.
Maybe. I would certainly speak to him. That is worrisome news, to be certain.
They seemed
hunters
quite
set upon
hostile.
you.
We shouldn't wander alone in the woods until we know more about them.
Well, the good news is at this point, I don't think I'm too set to be wandering alone much of anywhere.
Well, she's
At
never
least not
wandering alone.
until this child finally sees fit to bless us with his presence.
You finally
it's-
decided to stop going off into the wilderness? You let us out not a week ago.
Oh, well, I had all of you, didn't I?
That's true.
You could handle a moose, a bull one at that, in heat.
Wait, it was in heat?
I don't think the bull mooses get in heat.
It's a
Oh,
joke
yeah.
about this wonderful call from Verge here.
He practices it at night. I hear him.
Moo.
It's apparently very effective.
That helps.
Well,
The only thing he knows how to attract.
if you are not too tired from the day's adventures, there are still a few hours of sunlight left. If you're going to be the Broken
better with
Tusk's
the bull
new crop of scouts, then you're going to need this. It'll give you the edge against something much larger than you, like a moose or something even worse.
Well, I've never been very good with putting my hands together in making things, but I'll be willing to pay attention.
Show me,
You never
yeah.
know what situation will call for it. Here. And she motions to the pile of supplies that she has and starts pointing out some different things and explaining how to put together a set of 3 different snares. One of them is almost an automated version of what you used on the moose earlier. It is simply a small, little like bark basket of sharp, whittled, pointy bits of wood and bone, almost just like a bucket of caltrops that is attached to a trigger that just sort of pops it all over the ground around it. A second is like this. This barely counts. This meets the legal definition of a trap. It is called a battering snare, and it is quite literally the thing where you pull a branch back and then you let go and it whacks something in the face. But you do that, but more effectively. You use a bigger, larger branch with a specific type of wood that's able to bend very well, and you attach it almost in a U shape to the ground to a wire that snaps and breaks the hold and causes it to flip up and whack like an arcing slap down on whatever's in front of it. And the third
It's a Looney Tunes.
is relatively straightforward. It is this similar version of what you found out the Taper Grove is a poison barb snare. It is simply taking a bunch of small little wooden spokes and poisoning their tips and affixing them to an array that is stable enough to handle large animals like a moose or something even bigger, trampling across it without just scattering to the winds, holding the pointy bit upright. Any of you can attempt to make any one of these snares with the supplies that Urgula has assembled. You don't need the snare crafting feat or anything like that. Urgula's guidance will serve as the feat for that's its purposes for right now.
Cool.
So, who wants to make a snare?
I'll make a snare.
Sure, I'll make one.
Ozash, what kind of snare do you want to make?
I think Ozash is a very simple man. He's probably going to do the branch one.
I'll make the battering snare. I'll make the whacking branch. I love just whacking branch.
Is that actually what it's called?
It's called battering snare, but whacking branch.
Whacking branch is better.
Is way better,
like
and I
whacking
love
branch.
it. Go ahead and make me a crafting check, sir.
We're good at these. He's actually good at these.
He should.
Oh,
be
I'm
good.
actually trained in
You're in
crafting.
character.
You should be.
I was about to say, I'm definitely trained in crafting. I didn't even realize it.
Whoosh.
I know. Oh,
Trained does not equate to good.
yeah, this is true.
Level 1.
9.
Well, the 9, you're trying to put this together, but you have a lot of difficulty trying to get enough tension to hold this branch into position with enough force to be like damaging to a large creature while the trigger is something sensitive enough.
For Ozash, it's not so much the strength problem, because clearly strength is his strong
Well, that's
suit.
not your strength. This is
But
just-
it's the dexterity of his fingers of trying to get at the thread. Do I twist it this way or no? It's this way. No, this way. And it kind of smacks him in the face a couple of times after a failed couple of attempts.
This is critically fell, so you can kind of like hilariously whacked a few times, not with enough force to like hurt you at all.
Not even it triggering your head. He's hitting himself with it.
All right, Amka, what do you want to build?
I want to build.
I love that we have macaroni art craft time. This is an actual written section of the campaign. What do you want to make today, Amka?
Let's see. I like the one that explodes the caltrops because
Okay.
that stops.
It's just called a caltrop snare. It's
because
super
that
simple.
stopped the bull moose from charging.
Did very good.
It's caltrops.
Crafting. I got a 12.
With a 12, your difficulty is that like the weight of all of the caltrops in this bucket is too much. Like your thing pops open, they just kind of like one jack falls out of the pile onto the ground. They don't just across the ground like they're supposed to.
That's progress.
Who else wants to try and make some snares? Aram.
I know. It just occurs to me. I have to go tell Grandfather Sven about those guys we found. You all have a lot of fun. I'm going to just. I could just see myself catching my fingers. at these.
Hanwi, these are important skills for a scout.
Hanwi,
I know you cannot rely on your magic in all situations.
You
No
would
magic.
be surprised.
No well of magic is infinite.
Hanwi, why don't you come help me first? And then once you
Besides-
see a good one that's done, then you can try to make one yourself.
Hanwi,
And the magic,
The one that's done.
Just tell me where to put my fingers. I guess.
magic cannot watch you while you sleep.
On my shoulder.
and
That's
also
not true.
Also, you learn a lot by doing things that aren't relative. You think of new ways to do the things you already know how to do.
Come on.
Set a snare with
I'll
your
show
magic.
you. We'll build the same snare that was used to catch the animals today, the
don't-
poison one.
I don't like those snares.
I don't like them either, but you should know
They are
about.
effective. The poison is enough to slow a beast down, allowing scouts and hunters to catch up more easily, allowing you to catch after as the animal escapes, who may know the terrain and be able to navigate it much more effectively than we can.
Well, all
But
right,
it is
just-
not strong enough to taint the meats, to ruin the kill or the supplies we would get from it.
Well, I guess I'll work with you. You show me what to do.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take this. Now remember to keep the pointy bits away from the pads of your fingers. It's not good. So we're just going to use this little bit of twine and we're going to wrap it around here just like you saw around the tree. And just be careful, okay?
Here, you
So,
give me your
I'm always
crafting.
gonna try to
check.
assist.
Oh, you're trying to assist?
That's
Okay.
just what I'm assuming this is.
Okay, give me your assist.
I get an 11.
Not negative.
I can follow
5-1.
instructions.
You can follow the Lego manual.
I got a 10.
How am I doing better?
Did I do it wrong?
We are not good at this. Verja,
We'll make everyone proud.
do
Well,
your
we can't.
best.
We can't roll higher than a 3.
I did not expect literally everybody to fail, but I guess that's how level 1 works.
You roll a
Verja,
3.
what are you making?
Caltrops bomb.
Caltrops bomb? Caltrops bomb.
Show me how to do it. My horn got caught in the other one.
Yeah.
Gimme.
11.
Exact same as me.
The 5 of you, the 5 of you work
Did I ever mention that I actually do know magic that can guard us while we
to
sleep?
try to put together
He still has his
a
independent
setup
roll.
of 4 traps. None of them work after your first 10 minutes of effort. It is.
Can we try again?
You can try again.
Do we have to
None of you critically failed. So I mean,
Where I
Hey.
messed up, actually.
and she points down. You see, you're focused too much on the trigger and not enough on the actual mechanism here. It needs to be able to pop up with enough force to scatter the spikes across an area, so
Okay.
that the hooves don't have to land directly on the trap for them to be injured. And Verja, yours, you have made your canister too tight. Your bark, you have attached it all very well, but too well. It should pop outward. It should lose its form as the trap is triggered. Verja, Ozash, sorry, it is Verja again.
There's a lot.
Verja,
very big,
I could go on about how much you suck for 20 minutes. It is difficult to put so much weight of the snare back on the trigger itself because the trigger is not strong enough to hold all of the weight. It can loop back into itself. It is only must be enough that it can break free that is attached to the actual trigger, to the wire itself.
Also, if I try it like this instead, maybe it would.
21.
Already rolled. Doesn't even wait for
Our arms in the
advice.
back, she's like, I can do this. I can do this. Like,
I've already seen this stupid thing before today.
that's 21.
I was just too busy focusing on
You
Hanwei's fingers
Get it
because she was helping
woven
me.
together without Hanwei distracting you.
Hanwei's actually not there.
Good.
Hanwei just left.
She's gone.
Yeah, out. Boop. See you. Bye.
Like you actually see like rabbit tracks and just she's gone.
You have managed to array a ring of these small, glistening barbs, just kind of permanently moist in the light of the setting sun, that would snap and anchor into the foot of an animal passing by.
Okay.
You have done it. We made a snare.
With my roll, for a second time taking the advice in hand, 16.
16 will do it. Ozash manages to get the trigger figured out and assembles a battering snare.
It took only
Maybe
a
I
few
just
smacks
put
in the face.
Too many caltrops in it. It was too heavy. That's all that was. I put less caltrops in it. It's like 1.
There's one counter. What's the total?
5.
5 will critically fail. So as you attempt to put this together,
You throw it down and look at it. It goes off. Nothing happens.
it pops. The one caltrop flies up and just hits you in the face. You take 1 point of piercing damage,
Oh, poor.
and it kind of like sticks
Poor Amka.
into your cheek. And you do with that. You have ruined enough wood that you don't have enough to try to remake it again.
Don't think I should be trying to do snares.
But this is an equally valuable lesson.
It is. I've learned a
You-
lot.
I've learned that we should not stand directly over the traps. I have the respect for them as an important part of the hunt as well, whether they are yours or lain by your friends.
Just
Probably
don't go
better.
near traps.
She just kind of reaches up to your cheek, there's just a little bit of blood, and just sort of wipes it off. It is okay. We each learn our own lessons in time, right? Besides, your blessings are sister cinders. You guide us in a different way.
I just want to be more useful.
You are useful,
Verja.
Anka.
16.
Success! You made a working caltrop canister. So we have one of each. You have managed to make a caltrop canister. You have managed to make a poison barb snare. And you have managed to make a battering snare. And
I
I still like whacking.
As you finish
better.
these Urgula kind of gestures, these set up in the space between these tents here. And besides, there is an equally valuable lesson to be learned from just such incidents. In fact, I would invite all three of you to try your hand at the very same. Trigger your own traps. Attempt to avoid their effects. Learn to think as the prey you stalk.
I'm gonna step the heck away
Counter-snare's
from
like
him.
on the ground. It's got
I
like
have now dropped it and it activates.
make a reflex.
I'm staying. The second she said that, I started running away
First
from
she
him.
just throws it on the floor.
Ozosh just
And I
has
threw it on
That's actually an
the ground.
acrobatics check.
Oh, nice.
Rolled a 19
Oh,
on the
oh,
I
die.
rolled a
just has-
19 on the die.
Solid.
Ozosh
So
just has
acrobatics check?
Acrobatics.
20.
So with a 20, as these kind of burst and dance around you, you are able to avoid all of these little spidey things shooting up at you. And to everyone's surprise, Verja is completely unharmed.
Sister Cinder favors the stupid.
Let's see you avoid the poison.
I'm not going to.
So just run across it quickly. Dance through its path. Try to keep your feet safe. You can avoid the spikes if you're careful.
He will Hanwi's actually made him do this a whole bunch of times because he's
Run through poison snares?
No, Flit
Show
and
your
Dan.
devotion to me.
This is an abusive relationship.
No, she's shown him how to flit and dance through stuff to try to avoid traps.
Like poisonous spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Make me, yours is in fact a reflex
I
save.
feel our relationship has been misinterpreted.
very.
Maybe a little. It's 25.
25 will critically succeed. And knowing exactly where the spires, knowing exactly where the spires are in your trap, you are able to quickly flit across it. Your foot breaking through the supports of the trap and casting it aside without actually hitting any of the spikes. Ozosh!
Don't get smacked in
Step
the
on
face by a
wire,
branch.
make reflex save.
Well, unfortunately, the cost of my size comes at my speed, so.
Oh, don't give me that. I passed with a +1.
2 coppers.
Week of rations.
15.
That exactly succeeds, so you'll take half.
Hey,
Which is 4, as it just kind of grazes you for 4 points of bludgeoning damage
Well,
as you try to duck through it.
Not bad.
I mean, to be fair, I got used to getting hit in the face by this thing, so it's nothing.
at least you were able to make a trap.
I think it is everything that we have gotten here today is valuable knowledge. Things will be useful in the hunt. Knowing the effects of our traps helps us understand where is the most effective place to build them. Here. And she picks up 3 little, like thumb-sized kind of green and black stones. One face of them almost perfectly smooth with about like a thumb-sized divot, and the rest of it rough and raw rock. Handing one of them to each of the 3 of you that braved your own traps.
I braved my own trap.
Just like a Boy
Your
Scout
trap is the
badge.
prison of your mind.
Wait, these are like Boy Scout badges.
They are. It's like a little thing that you could do. Like it fits really well into your hand. Your thumb sits in it. It's just smooth and nice. They are bits of malachite. They were too small to use for anything practical beyond just
Freaking
simple worry
idiot.
stones. But I figured they're an appropriate gift for your
They're beautiful.
upcoming Green Moon Festival.
Thank you.
Much appreciated, thank you.
Now,
Twins. That's why you're so big.
You think?
I think so.
It would not be the first time Lars Panwaku. She looks around. I suppose.
I bet they're boys too.
You think? You bet it's not just boys, but 2 of them.
That's right.
Those are long odds.
I think that that's exactly what it
There are
is.
many gambling men closer to the inner sea who would gladly take bets against you, Aram.
I don't know.
But you, I know, will make wonderful scouts. My duties will, I'm afraid, fully consume me once my child is born. But I have faith in you. You have all learned well. You brought down a moose with no assistance outside of that of you and your friends and Hanwi, wherever she got to.
She went that way.
She went to go see grandfather's feet.
She
really
ran like her
doesn't like
skirt
snares.
had caught fire.
I think she's afraid of failing.
I think everyone is, at least to some extent. And honestly, that is part of why I have you do this task. Not only do you get to learn the useful art of trap making, but you can grapple with something that is outside of your normal recourse. And to work with something you are unfamiliar with, to learn. And even in failure, we learn. I don't think any less of you, Namkoon, because you can't tie some sticks together. This is one of a great many skills. I am sure all of your friends here would fail equally spectacularly at trying to conjure Sister Cinder's blessings into raw magic if that were the task.
I'm sure they could try if they put their minds to it.
You're also so much more graceful.
She picks up another small one of the worry stones and hands it out to you. Here.
Thank you.
Participation.
What
ribbon.
matters is the attempt. It is not about succeeding. It is about trying. You can tell Hanwi that when you find her.
Oh, don't worry. I will make sure
pushes
she.
you.
Put my
Little.
hand on her
No,
stomach.
no,
Like, hopefully it'll
Somebody
be
in the background
quick
breaks.
and soon.
I don't know.
Don't worry.
Harik tells me horrible, horrible stories about me and Panwaku, so if it is 2 boys, I can't even begin to imagine.
I'm thinking it's just one girl.
She is going to be a very big girl.
Very healthy.
Very healthy.
And I'm hope to be by your side when she comes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go find Hanwei.
You have much more to do in the coming days, do you not? The sun will be setting before long. Get food. You have been out all day taming wild beasts.
Wow,
Rest and eat.
I got bit, by the way.
I can see that, actually.
Large
It
chunk
is
of
quite
your body.
apparent in your leathers here. You might want to have that tended to.
I would
It
like
was
to-
fun, though.
I would like to point
I'm
out,
sure Emek would love to hear the story.
you got bit one time and passed out. Like, there's just this one bite mark in your armor, and you were unconscious.
I am slain!
I mean, to be fair, it bit, shook you, and threw you
You up
into
in
the
the
air.
air.
It wasn't like it was like a chomp. Like it was a good old
Yeah, it was a
fashioned
big
like
chunk.
You got
bulldog
barfened.
bite.
Jaw Barthen.
Telling the story of the bite. The bite I received was so
What
bad.
year is it in the calendar?
That's a verb now. You got barfened.
4722? 4722, I think.
bite
of 4722.
Meanwhile, Hanwi has made her way into the camp to go find Grandfather Iowa. Who, what?
Sven.
Oh,
Grandfather Sven.
Grandfather Sven, sorry. We got a new list of Patreon names to put in my brain goodly. See, my mistake
You should try writing them down. It's super
I have
useful.
them all written down. They're in front of
try
me
reading.
twice.
It's here in my notes.
Yeah. You made
Grandfather
a mistake.
Sven,
Down.
as he
Oh, yeah, you kind of need that.
He rests on the far side of the camp behind the Falcon House tent. Actually sat at a small campfire with his whole mammoth that is kind of keeled down next to him. He has one hand up on the mammoth's shoulder. And he turns as you approach. It's still the light of the sun is bright. The sun has not begun to set yet, but the fire keeps the area warm more than bright. Welcome, Hanwi.
Grandfather Sven, a word if you would. She's going to like crouch down in deference, keeping distance. She's always treated him this way ever since he allowed her to stay after being brought in from the snow. When we were out taming the tapir, we were assaulted by a pair of hunters that I've never seen before. Their faces were badly burned and scarred, with red dye almost mixed in with the burns. But their bodies too. I've never seen such intense scarification. They seemed to know of the Broken Tusk and attacked us on sight. Regrettably, Arugula didn't know anything about them, but maybe, have you heard of anything? Do we have enemies in this area?
Well, put, I suppose, rather plainly, any who traveled through these lands would most likely be familiar with our following. Our presence is far from subtle, and Rockloom is one of our most sacred sites, and certainly one of our only permanent ones. As far as those who would seek to do us harm, I would not trouble your mind about it, Henri. You seem to be in good health and spirits, which tells me that all of your friends with you fared fine as well.
They were bested easily, actually.
That you had the strength to strike them down is the blessing of Sister Cinder. If their bodies were marred as severely by burns as you say, and perhaps equally her curse that they bore.
I should ask Amka about that.
Perhaps these were simple opportunists. There are those throughout our lands and throughout our paths that we would rather not deal or speak of. They belong to no following, no proper one anyway. Simply pillagers and opportunists that travel the waste for ill-gotten spoils, hoping to subsist, not from their own strength or the gift of the land, but from that they can pilfer from those stronger than themselves.
So, they are like scavenging animals, then?
Very much so. And like scavengers, it seems you handily dispatched them.
If they were so weak as to have to come after those who've already gathered nature's bounty, then they're not fit to gather it themselves. I suppose it makes sense.
And I imagine this is why they kept themselves far from the outskirts of our camp proper. If they were a part of some greater following with the strength to do anything against the Broken Tusks, we would have seen them here, not in some distant grove a near hour's travel away.
If your judgment is that, that's all we have to think about it. Thank you. I wanted to make sure you knew, though.
No, do not mistake my words, Henri. I appreciate you bringing this knowledge to me. It is something that I and the rest of the heads of the houses can ponder. Something worth thinking on, to be sure.
We will keep our guard up on our other tasks.
One of which is to scout and secure the site at Rockloom.
Probably be wise to do that next before we carry water there.
Well, the water will be brought back here for now. Delivered from the Gornok River to be used in our preparatory rituals, more than at the site itself.
I understand.
If Rockloom itself stands proud and true, then I do not think there is any greater plot to fear. Surely even scavengers could have taken abandoned stones to the torch if they wished to cause us harm.
Perhaps we should... I will bring your words to the rest. Perhaps we should examine Rockloom and make sure all is as it should be.
Thank you, Nonwe. So, aside from this, I take it your journeys were successful.
Indeed. The tapir were wounded by snares and took some time to calm down, but we brought them back.
They may simply have been hunters from adjoining lands, nomads like ourselves. Perhaps they placed some claim to the tapirs and were offended by your interference. We could muse on this for moons and moons, but again, I would put it from your mind.
As you say.
Your night crests soon. Think on that.
We will be ready for it. And thank you again for everything.
Of course. You will make a fine scout, Henri. Never for a moment have I regretted or even doubted your admission into our following.
Your words warm my heart. Thank you.
And even his mammoth kind of like turns its head over your direction. One of his tusks capped with this large, kind of scrimshod, brass and wooden twisting cap that just sits upon one spire. The rim of it carved to be a circle of humanoid figures standing up, their arms all outstretched, supporting the actual metal cap itself, which is emblazoned with the smaller curving face of a mammoth, its tusks almost conjoining around the back of this cap itself placed on the mammoth's tusk.
Now, Hanu will bow to the mammoth as well as she takes her leave.
And as you head back into the camp, I imagine not too far away from the time that the rest of your friends finish up with their adventures and snare crafting for the evening.
We have to go find Grumpy Pants now.
Snare crafting 101.
Snare crafting 101.
Do we get snare crafting?
You, before you go, Urgula does not give you snare crafting for free, but would give you the raw supplies to craft one of each of those 3 snares. Though without her oversight, you would need the snare crafting feat to be able to put them together yourself. With that, though, you would retire to an evening's meal, a night's rest, and the following morning with a pilgrimage to the holy site at Rockloom, it sounds like, ahead of you.
With Grumpy Pants.
Grumpy Pants is coming for the water.
Grumpy Pants is going for water. If we do this, if we do the holy site first, that's one less day.
Yes,
we can
one
push
less
that
day
back.
with Grumpy Pants.
And it is handle him once a week. Gotta wait for Sunday to roll over.
It is here, I think, we will end our first session of the quest.
We
for the
alive,
Frozen
sons.
Flame. Nobody died to a moose.
We are alive.
We only spent an entire actual hour trying to tame tapers and
Almost
5
died.
seconds just backhanding random barbarians and then back to trying to tame tapers.
To be
Died
fair,
to a tapir.
we have 2 early
Here's
game
angry.
damage dealers.
Yeah,
What do you expect?
You had magic weapon and a magus crit, so that's just like, and you are gone. Like, it's-
The barbarian with magic weapon has hit you. You died.
Imagine
The magus crit you
Unfortunati.
at any point in the game.
Do you want to put those minis there on the far end of the table before table cam here so we can just show them all off one more time? These things are beautiful.
God, they're so beautiful.
Fantastic. An excellent paint job from Hanwi here.
Oh, thank you.
And scoot a little bit towards Hanwi. And
They're little.
fantastic new resin miniatures from Eldritch Foundry.
Oh
And
my
that
God,
one's
they're
dead
so
forever,
gorgeous.
instantly
that was
destroyed.
me.
Figures.
What a shock. It's you. Thank you for joining us for our premiere, everyone. We hope you enjoyed. There is a lot of things coming in the future for our fine new scouts and the Broken Tusk following.
So many things.
I'm sure everyone is going to continue to be happy and just live a nice, wonderful life.
And we will
Broken
never
Tusk.
see those other people
Quest
again.
for the Frozen Flame is just, a slice of life anime.
Yeah.
in
It
the
turns out
Frozen
we have a
North.
lot of healing. Like, we have a lot of secret healing.
We're just going to have a great time.
Yeah, no one's going to die.
We had a lot of healing
Everything's
with
going to
her,
be
too.
wonderful.
I mean, like,
Gosh,
heal
Hanwi.
spells, natural healing, natural
Join
healing,
us
natural healing,
next
natural healing.
week,
I don't have any
Saturday,
natural
3
healing.
p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, for everything definitely continuing to just go happily as planned and being great.
Maybe
and
we'll make more animal friends.
maybe we'll make more animal
God, I
friends.
love animal
Fight me.
friends.
We'll make a lot of animal friends
have
throughout
an
this
army of
campaign,
tapers.
probably. A lot of that going
Yeah.
I
on.
want a mammoth.
I want a pretty.
Everyone wants a mammoth.
I want
That's
a
what
pr-
being a mammoth lord is.
I want a
That's
pretty
like-
white horse.
I want a giant
Turn into a mammoth.
tortoise.
Turn into a
Pretty
mammoth.
white
Give me some
horse.
levels. I can get there.
I have a
Good
mammoth.
night, everyone. Enjoy
You
the
can't just
rest
say,
of
"Give
your
me some
weekends.
levels."
Everyone lived.
I guess you can.
Barely.
Bye.